Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing tonight? We are live here in the Action Lab on Twitch. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your hosts for the Action Lab, your premier sports and entertainment talk show on Twitch. It's like talking sports with your friends and family inside your family room, except everyone is all over the world. Scotty, we are here live on a Wednesday night. We have a massive week 5 ahead of us. We're halfway through the weeks. You know, we got baseball winding down, regular season. We got NFL, we got NBA and NHL ramping up. Woo, man, let's go.
So much going on, Chris. Yeah, I mean, today was the conclusion to Major League Baseball season. We're going to have playoffs starting here soon. Obviously, we got NFL action. The NBA is getting going. The NHL is getting going. It's the best time of the year, Chris. It is the most wonderful time of the year. And don't tell me it's Christmas, because I'll call you a liar. You know, it's right now, Chris, in the sporting world.
Bro. Yep. No, I was actually singing "It's the most wonderful time of the year" at my house. Like, literally, when you said that, I just started, like, in my head, I was like, we're the same person. Because, and then Lauren was like, yeah, you're not allowed to sing Christmas songs, and especially about sports right now. It's just not. She's super excited about NBA and NHL, and she's like,
she just, you know, her and Rachel just get fired up about this stuff.
Oh,
they
yeah,
just get so fired up. I don't know why they're not spamming in the chat right now, like fire emojis and so many things. Where are they at?
The wives. This is our most wonderful time of the year, Scotty. This is their most, like, tortured time of the year. But,
well, to be fair, I don't have to work nights and weekends, so it's pretty good in that respect.
I mean, there you go. So, yeah, we will be getting a lot more action coming up here. trying to work some NBA stuff into our system here eventually. As we get closer to the season, we'll do some like previews for the NBA. We'll do our defending champion Colorado Avalanche. You know, they're going to be just coming in, and they have another chance to win it all. So we're going to be doing some NHL previews. I know Moon and some of you guys like the NHL too, so we'll dive into some of that. But let's get to the chat here. Let's welcome everybody in. Moon Princess Reckoning, Diacola, welcome. Two gloves are better than one. What's up, everybody? Baseball season is over. Now we get to the part where St. Louis bullshits their way to the World Series.
Ugh, I really hope not. No offense, but I know I can't get on board there, Rec. But Rec, I think we'll be on good terms at least in one note tonight when it comes to best bets. So let's wait on that one. But yeah, the playoff field is set in baseball, Chris.
Yep.
It starts. When is it? Does it start Friday? I believe Friday.
So. Yep. So
the new playoff format with, you get a bye if you're that special. So
and of course,
nice to be special.
The New York Mets ended up choking away that division title, so they will just get right to action here coming up. So they got the Padres. Coming up here very, very soon. So 2 days away from starting that series. But super excited to see that, though. I mean, I haven't really had a lot of time to watch a lot of baseball in the regular season until like this down the stretch. But I will be checking out.
I mean, we obviously haven't seen it, but I kind of like this playoff format, Chris, in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, explain it to
you. Offer. Yeah, so there's seven. What is there? Seven teams. Yeah, seven teams in each. The AL and NL. Top seeds get a bye. Best of three, but if you had the better record or whatever, you get home field in that best of three. So it's not. I mean, I liked when they added the extra wild card team, but a one and done just seems wrong for me, Chris. Like, at least baseball's 162 games. Let's not have a one and done situation, despite how entertaining it might be in that scenario. But so now you have 6 teams starting with one team on a bye and a best of three. And yeah, it's like the NFL playoffs.
Yep.
Which, why wouldn't you try and copy the NFL? I mean, to be honest, they do it pretty well.
Yep. No, I think that's a great way. I think it's a good approach for the Major League Baseball playoffs to go this route because it makes sense. I think it's going to make more excitement too. So guys, go check out, if you have some teams to root for, go check out some of the Major League Baseball playoffs. It's weird for me to say that I do have a team that I can somewhat root for here as my secondary team, so I'll take it. So I will be looking at the Mets to try to make a run. We'll see. But Scotty, who do you like in the Major League Baseball playoffs? From anybody, AL, NL, who's a team you're looking at?
I still think the NL. I think the NL is going to win this year. I think it could be one of 3 teams. I mean, you talk about the Mets choking, and yes, they got swept in that epic series against the Braves, but they still won 100 games this year. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at. You still have Scherzer and
DeGrom.
So with those two, anything's possible. I'd probably put them third, though. I'd probably put the Braves have been on fire the second half, and the Dodgers are just the Dodgers. A fun story with the Rockies over and under. I'm not allowed to bet on baseball. I'm not saying I influenced any decision. I'm not allowed to say I influenced people, but our uncle-in-law, Chris, for a while now has told me I bet on the Rockies over, they better hit, and it was at 68.5, Chris. And with 4 games to play, they needed to win all 4. And they were in LA against the Dodgers. Ooh. And what do?
They win 3.
They win the first 3. They win the first 3. It's down to the wire. It's right there. Ugh. It's right there. And they no show today. They just no show. Couldn't, as Cuban Benny says, race to 69 was our October, and we couldn't quite get to 69. Would have been nice to finish on 69, wouldn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can feel it all the way down in my plum.
Yeah, I think 69 sounds so much better than 68. But yeah, how treacherous is that? You have 68.5, and you just need, you go on a 3-game winning streak. and one game to go, and you're at 68. Like, that's so brutal, man. If that's not a bad beat, I don't know what is. I mean, it just teases you.
It's just like one win in a 162 game season. Just one more.
Well, let's
just
be
one
nice.
more.
Let's be nice.
If you can't say something nice, the dude who leapt from his seat trying to grab 62. It was a good effort.
Was it?
I mean, as good of an effort as you could find, but yeah, crazy. What's up, JK? How we doing, Cuban? Would have been nice. Must be nice. Reckoning. The Dodgers would have broken the all-time win record if they had stopped failing against the shitty teams. Yep.
Yeah,
like the Rockies.
Maybe I don't even know if that's important to the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I've said it before, it must be so boring to be a Dodger fan though, Chris. The whole regular season is just a tremendous waste of time. Just a complete waste of time.
All you want to do is skip to the good stuff, right? I mean, it's partly, it's inevitable where they're going to finish. It's just a matter of time. You have to sit through it all. A+ Hamilton reference, Chris. Yeah, see, I dig some Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton. I've seen twice. It's incredible. That's why they get there late and leave early, says Cuban. Guy who got it is rich already. We're gonna talk a little bit about that here in a minute. So don't you go anywhere. Milwaukee's, if only the Brewers had won one more game out of the 162. Sorry, Milwaukee's. I mean, just right on the edge there, just like the Rockies win total bet. I mean,
they had a window. I mean, they had their chances. The Phillies were trying to just give it away.
Yeah, no, it's tough go. But Scotty, how? So the week's going good, man. Anything else? Obviously, Rocky season is over, so you're kind of just winding down all the big stuff.
Yeah, crunching some end of year numbers, seeing where we ended up. We have a whole book thing we have to fill out and submit with all the numbers and paragraphs of information. It's super exciting stuff, Chris. But with the season eventually over, I don't work nights and weekends, so I'm looking forward to that. Things are good. How about you, Chris?
Same old, nothing. We have a lot of things in store for getting the Action Lab, some new stuff, some new segments, some new fun things for you guys in the chat. So, yeah, I'm working hard at building out some cool features. I mean, people want all the commands and stuff. I mean, they want to turn this into G Girls chat and have a million commands going off. And I might give you guys some of those. So we'll hook it up with some new commands. We have some sweet ideas for some content that you guys are going to absolutely love. A couple things we talked about today, Scotty, that I'm excited about. So we're going to be building some things here very soon. So can't wait. Yes, new commands. I know Football Wife's been wanting the new commands.
She's mortified by her commands, Chris. Are they bad? Are they that bad? I don't know.
There's just not enough of them. Everyone wants a bunch, and we just gotta hook it up. We gotta hook them up with some fun stuff.
All right. It's been a while. We probably haven't added any in a while. Let me just crack it. Sorry, I'll find that.
But we are here, and we want to make sure. Yes, you just don't have many. Yeah, we like to keep it simple. We're simple. Simpletons. Yeah, is that the word? There you go. Yeah, we're just simpletons. True. Yeah,
that seems like a negative connotation, though.
Sounds like
we're simple. We're simple people. What
is
simplicity?
What is it? Tropic Thunder?
Come on,
is it
man.
Simple Jack, or what's his name? Simple.
I haven't seen Tropic Thunder in so long. I don't know.
Man, it's been forever. Let's get to some of the housekeeping stuff, and then we have a massive show tonight, guys. We have Week 5 preview. We're going to be getting all of you guys set for Week 5 of the NFL season, and we will make sure that you have everything you need to know going forward for this week. Our best bets. We will make sure you guys are all caught up on all the news. We have some top news popping off. I didn't include one of the things that we talked about earlier, Scotty, but we can touch on it a little bit, and maybe we save it for another show. But yeah, exactly. What's up, Chairman? Can I real quick? I wanted to give a shout out. at chairman of the board. So I got a really cool message today, Scotty. A really, really cool message. And it was a Discord message from Chairman. And Chairman's been building up his stream. He's been trying to get a lot of people. And this past week, he's been doing a lot. You know, we've been trying to support we support all of you in whatever you guys want to do. And I felt like one of our children grew up today, Scotty, because Chairman reached out to me in Discord and said, "Thanks, guys, for all you've done," and sent a picture that he was invited to be an affiliate of Twitch today. Let's go!
Congrats, Chairman. That's huge, man.
Let's go.
That is awesome, Chairman. Congrats.
I felt butterflies, man.
Affiliate status. I remember the day we hit that, Chris,
man.
and it felt so good. We were so excited. I'm sure you're feeling that same way, Chairman. And you deserve it, man. And we appreciate you being in here and supporting us, and the little we can even do back or whatever. Or regardless, you make your stream what it is. So
exactly.
it's not us, but you earned that, man. So congrats.
Yeah, and I told him the same thing. I was like, "Hey, we didn't do much, man. You're the one that has to go live, and you're the one that has to, build an audience and do it all. And we can help you with the audience stuff, but realistically, you gotta jump in and do it." And he crushes. And he sent us on a raid 27 viewers the other day. I was like, "What?"
I know.
I was like, "Man, big
gets
shot."
Affiliate just in time for Braves postseason. Let's go. Let's go.
Exactly. So everyone's giving a lot of love. Let's thank you so much. We have we have the best community in Twitch. We support each other, and it's a lot of fun to see you guys succeed in anything you have going on. We have some people in college, we have some people, doing all sorts of cool stuff. So just keep. Hey, you always have the Action Lab support, as little as that means. You always have us to tell you, get your ass in shape, right?
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
I need to get my ass in shape.
That's right. So congratulations one more time. So guys, with that being said, let's get some of the housekeeping out of the way and let's dive into this week preview. Coming in hot is at the very end of the show. So make sure you guys stay around for the end of the show. If you can't make it, that's not a problem. It gets late. Sometimes we get carried away on this show and we get off subjects. But that means where can people catch us, Scotty?
No, fuck that, Chris. You stay. And then you re-listen to it tomorrow on all of the podcast networks that are out there, Chris.
Yeah.
Apple, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. What else, Chris? I don't know.
YouTube.
There are other.
We have Apple, Spotify, all the good stuff. There's all of our socials, including YouTube, which we want to make sure you guys always check out after the show. We have our VODs, everything else, if you want to see our faces. Also, we have !podcast in the chat. There you go. And there's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, Google, you name it. We're on all of them. And we're putting up those each and every single week. So go check those out. Let's say you have to leave early. Let's say you have to get home, you get on late. You missed the beginning. What's up, BP? How we doing, my friend? BP is another streamer out there trying to get his start in the sports world. So, guys, there you go. He's new. He's building out his channel. He's a video game streamer, but he's trying to work through. So we're going to support him as well. So BP, welcome in. Good to see you in here. All right. So, so you got all the socials. You got the podcast. So you're all good to go there. Guys, if you guys want to support the channel, the biggest thing we ask is that you guys share the channel with other people that that would enjoy just sports talk, or just our community. If you know people that are just, the same kind of vibe, get them in here. Let's talk some sports. Let's talk some food. We talk about all sorts of stuff. So get people in here. And also, make sure you hit that follow button if you have not already. I know we're early on in the stream. People are still trickling in, but hit that follow button if you have not already so that we can continue to grow. And also, !Prime in the chat. If you haven't linked your Amazon and your Twitch Prime, make sure you do that. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Moon Princess, for the gifted sub. There you go. There you go.
BP. What's up? Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you so much for the the generosity. It's chariosity. Charity. It's all. I can't even say words. Words are hard. Speaking of food, I had some birria tacos. Birria tacos. Is that Chris, that taco spot?
I've literally never had a birria taco, but I've seen so many birria tacos on social media, and all I want is a birria taco.
You're all like, about. That's all. Is it a fried taco?
Well, it's it's fried, but it has like oh my gosh, it's got some shredded like I don't even know what it is in there. It is literally the best. It looks like the best thing ever. You have like a dip on the side that you dip it in, but they throw that on the tortilla when they deep fry it too. And then it's got onions and like cilantro in there with it. It looks so good, Chris. I described it really poorly there because I can't even tell you the meat in it, which is embarrassing. But I'm gonna look that up now.
I mean, I have it on
barbacoa. It's barbacoa.
I have it on our screen now, and it looks incredible. Yeah. No, I'm all about that. Woo. Yeah.
I took you to a place downtown that has the best deep fried tacos in Denver, Chris, Mexico City, but those aren't birria tacos. Now I need to try some of these birria tacos, and I would just have a heyday.
That sounds
with those things.
Oh, yeah. I've heard so many.
Is the dip. Yes.
I've heard so many kinds of tacos, giggity, but never that kind. Yum. What else? Stewed meats are the core. Cheese into the tortilla, onions, and cilantro. Oof. Oof. STG.
And you just dip it in who said the STG is like you use the consomme as a dip for the taco, and it's like consists of the juice that like literally comes from the beef, like the meat is stewed in. So
Milwaukee says I was in Chicago today and had Al's Italian and it's moving on me. Al's Italian beef. Oh man, good stuff. Never had it, but that sounds incredible.
Did you get it just dipped, or did you get it like drenched in the au jus or whatever they do with Italian beef out there in Chicago? Chris, what is the difference outside of obviously the au jus, Italian beef sandwich and like a Philly cheesesteak? To me, why can't they just merge? Why can't they become their own best friends? Let's add all the cheese from a Philly cheesesteak,
okay,
and then let's dip it in some au jus. Let's baptize it in that and have the best of both worlds. Why can't we just do both? Why do we have to separate it?
You're gonna have to ask somebody from Philadelphia whether or not that they're gonna crucify you for messing up with their prized Philly cheesesteak. With
don't care. I've had some Philly cheesesteaks in Philly, and I wasn't that impressed.
I mean, I'm all for it because I love food. So anything that's gonna elevate food, even like the stoner elevation of food, I'm all for it. Scotty, great idea. Isn't that a French dip, says Cuban? I mean, chairman. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a...
But everyone, like Chicago loves their Italian beef, which doesn't really have cheese on it. And Philly loves their Philly cheesesteaks that doesn't have the au jus. I'm not saying I'm inventing a new dish, but can't we come together and just bring both ideas together?
Now, Reckoning...
And French dip doesn't always have cheese, that's true.
Reckoning has an interesting take here. Domino's low-key has a good Philly.
Really? Never had a sandwich from Domino's, to be honest.
I know typically wings. I know. I think we had. Who was it? It was Moon was like wings for sure. You know who has the worst wings? Pizza joints. Wings. I've never been to I've never had a pizza joint that has good wings. So I don't know if I trust Phillies, but maybe you're on something, Reckoning. I don't know.
They're so small. The wing is like itty bitty at all the pizza places.
Soggy, and the sauce is just low quality. There's just nothing good. I didn't see a food section in the Discord. I'll post my.
No, we do have something.
We have a food section.
or at least a recipe or something section.
Yeah, we do have a food section in our Discord.
Food
STG,
section,
post in there. If you have recipes, guys, post them in the
Birria
Discord.
Taco, let's go. Chris and I are gonna do in the next week or so. Might do like a draft, Chris versus me, and like I don't know. We might do fast food places, or we're gonna do that as a running segment for a while, hopefully. But
yep.
We can do a little back and forth draft, and then you guys can vote on who had the better draft after we complete it, like top 5 for each of us on these places. So I will own Chris.
So for all of you guys who know or on social media, I didn't know about this trend until about 24 hours ago, or no, 12 hours ago, because you told me about this, and I was like, what is this? It's a draft, and it's on TikTok. And what you do is, you get 5 picks each. You go back and forth. You can't pick the same thing. And it goes for cereal, for sandwiches, for fast food, you could do literally any draft of anything. And we're going to be doing that. So thank you, SDG, for posting those in the Discord. Come to Memphis for the barbecue, or Nashville for chicken
and music. I've never been to Nashville. Always wanted to go, and I love Nashville chicken, Chris. I mean, it's made its way out here, and I'm no longer like, you get like buffalo chicken sandwich. Nah. Give me a Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
And Chris. I think still the top place on my to go list, my bucket list, is JK. What JK says: come to Buffalo. The pizza joints here have great wings. However, yes, the sports bar tight places perfect them. That's all I want to do, Scotty. I want to go to Buffalo. I want to eat some wings. And if we catch a Buffalo Bills game and tailgate a little bit, that's a bonus. But I want some of those wings, man. We got to get some of those. The
next time the Chiefs are in Buffalo, we're going.
Yes.
They're in KC this year, but they're going to probably both finish first in their division this year, so they'll play again next year. Maybe that'll be in Buffalo. Let's go.
It's got to be in Buffalo next year.
Go.
Next year, it's happening. So I have two things I have to say about before. That's the Nuggets when they have a closeout game to win the championship this year, so I got to go to that. And then also Buffalo for next year. So those are the ones that are on our list, Scotty. We got to make it happen. And Kentucky Derby's up there too. We'll do Kentucky Derby. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I think that's all I got. Join our Discord, guys, by the way. Join our Discord if you haven't already. STG just posted his recipes. I love it. Or just some food stuff. Also, we're talking sports. Tomorrow night, we have Thursday Night Football, Broncos, Colts. So if we're going to be talking a lot offline about the game, and we're not going to be live for that game tomorrow, but you guys can join our conversation in our Discord. Click the link and join in and have fun with us in there. We post memes. We post all sorts of good stuff in there. So join us each and every single time. Yeah, let's go. So, all right, let's dive in. We got some top stories for you. We got some top stories we're going to get to. What a game, says JK. Yeah, it's going to be kind of not a great game to start out our week 5. A lot of injuries, a lot of stuff going on between both teams, and both teams are very underachieved. So we'll dive into all of our week 5 just previews here very, very soon. First off, we need to dive into a couple topics. And Scotty, here we are. Aaron Judge reaches 62. He got there. And this is a big one. This is a big one. Reaches 62 AL record here. And, now there's all the talk about the guy who got the ball and everything else. I don't know exactly. I haven't followed the story this afternoon, but I saw some reports that he was offered $2 million. I've certain all sorts of different things.
Who's offering him $2 million right off the top?
I don't know, but they did what your recommendation was, and that's getting the ball home and just taking some time and just getting kind of the lay of the land with all of the offers and everything else. But regardless of that, we'll get your thoughts on that too. We have history being made here. Aaron Judge reaches 62 now. A lot of the headlines, coming through saying congratulations, and Aaron Judge is absolutely a legend here. So he deserves all of the hype around this. This is huge. Then you get all the historians saying, well, Barry Bonds and stuff that we already talked about that last stream, Barry Bonds, and how does he compare to that and the single season and this and that. So a lot of different angles from this one. What's one of your favorite angles on this? And kind of, what are your thoughts on where this goes, in any direction?
I mean, mad respect to Aaron Judge. We haven't had a player approach this number in quite a while since, mostly the steroid era. So Judge, and no less in a contract year, Chris, like to come through in a contract year and bomb out because he's been hurt a little bit in the last few years. He comes in this year and he was a late bloomer, Chris. Like he wasn't even a high prospect at times. So he's worked his ass off. Props to him. 62. It's awesome. I love that Major League Baseball has done a great job of marketing this. Sometimes I question if they do a good enough job of marketing things. They did a great job with this. It was out there. It was a big storyline. I think it helped that it was in New York, Chris. If this was not a Yankee, I don't know if it would have been the large story that it was. I mean, because I have touched on it. I asked on a prior show, I'm like, why in baseball do we separate AL and NL where we don't really do that in other sports? It's not like we say, oh, Mahomes just had the most AFC passing yards ever. No, it's like an NFL. It's either an NFL record or it's nothing. And of course, a lot of people out there will dispute whether Judge has the record or Barry Bonds does based off of the whole steroid thing. I'm sticking with Bonds. I'm happy he did it. I'm definitely happy he did it. It got a little tighter than I thought, Chris. He was probably a little nervous down the stretch. And frankly, I think this will help him moving forward in the postseason. Like, he'll have the swagger. He doesn't have to worry about this anymore. He hit that mark. He did what he needed to do, and he can just... we'll see if he gets any pitches in the playoffs to hit. But, yeah.
I mean...
I'm happy for him.
I'm happy for him, too.
He seems like a really good dude.
He had 16 more home runs than anyone else in Major League Baseball this season. Like, Kyle Schwarber was the next at 46 home runs. That would be the largest difference between the top two home run hitters in a single season since Jimmy Fox and Babe Ruth, going back to 1932. Crazy. But yeah, he just separated himself by far. We had some people in the chat talking about this also, where the auction clearinghouse offered $2 million before they got the hit, and then they stood by their offers as chairman.
I mean, if anyone's offering you $2 million right off the bat, you shouldn't take it. That just means they're trying to steal from you.
That's a low ball.
I didn't even know auction clearinghouses, like, I thought when a ball goes up for auction, it's normally like the auctioneer place gets like a percentage of what the owner makes off of it. I didn't know the auction place would just buy it outright and then auction it off and profit like hell.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I don't know how they have the right. I mean, could any auction house? I mean, I don't understand. Could anybody do this then? Like, if that specific auction house is just like staking claim to that, I don't know. It's weird. But it's an achievement, but the MLB is looking at a pile of skeletons in the basement and whistle walking away from it. SDG, he took major risk in the contract year. He's cashing in this offseason. Yeah, he's going to get paid, right? And this is big for the Yankees. The fact that he did it in a Yankee uniform is like, I mean, it's just kind of, the Yankees love this.
He's going to get paid, and the Yankees will pay him, and the Yankees will regret that contract eventually. But you have to keep him. You can't not keep him, and so you're going to have to pay him stupid money that eventually he's not going to be worth. He's not going to be close to worth.
I mean, we've seen...
Well, that's how baseball kind of works. You pay... Baseball's backwards. They pay people when they're like almost past their prime.
And stupid. Baseball pays you and they give you like a 10-year contract. Like ridiculous. It's like, oh, I'm just going to give, you had a great year. You had a great couple years. Let's just give you... You'll be great for an eight more years. Like, what? I mean, I think, didn't Pujols, when he left the Cardinals, get a massive contract like that? Like
Miami, actually. Yeah.
And it was like, it was an albatross. Like, all of these massive contracts or these super long contracts, you can't, I mean, that's terrifying that you have to draw it out that far. But I get it from the player's perspective. don't get it from the organization perspective. I read he had the lowest percentage of strikes pitched to him in MLB, by like 27%ish, says chairman. I could be wrong, but who made the offer? It was something like that. Yeah. I don't even want to hear your first offer. What's your second offer? Michael Scott. It's true. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, and I'm telling you, if like you said, if 2 million is the starting point, oh, you got to hold on to that a little longer, and then that thing will creep up. I guarantee it. He also finished the regular season first in Major League Baseball in home runs, and tied for the league in RBIs. He's the first player to be tied for first in the majors in all four of those categories. There's a bunch of categories since Mickey Mantle in 1956. So, yeah, he's just setting records left and right. So it's a historic season for Judge, and it just keeps. I mean, he got the playoffs, so he could cap this out pretty strong if they can, get that World Series win, come out of the AL with the title, but yeah, $2 million as a fan, New York Yankee star who caught the 62nd home run ball. I feel the offer is way above fair if he is inclined to sell it. Cohen, who is a guy president of Memory Lane Inc. in Tustin, California, who is part of this and trying to get that thing sold, but nobody's replied. He's staying quiet. He's doing what you say. Stay quiet. Soon after, a local TV station posted a brief interview with humans in the walkway. This other chick was like, "Hey, that's my husband right there." Yeah, like can you imagine being the guy who catches that ball? I mean,
it's like winning the lottery, Chris.
It's like winning the lottery. If you're just in the right spot at the right time, change your life, man. Clout, what's up, Clout? How we doing? How's your week going? Let's go. Pujols left St. Louis to the Angels.
Yeah. I said Miami. I was thinking there were some other guys that went to Miami.
Yeah, 10 years, 300 million, something like that. Insane contract. And we see how weak the Angels did. Yeah.
I think roughly it'll be around 40 million for Judge over like 8 years, which is silly because he's not that young. Chairman's like, when a player outperforms the field by that much, I just assume he's on steroids. I'm a cynical like that these days. I'm not gonna go there. He has hit 52 before in a season back in like 2017, I think. So he's kind of approached that number before. But yeah.
Either way, congratulations.
It was, by the way, Chris, it was off Jesus Tinoco, who I know he played for the Rockies, and I'm pretty sure he came up through the Rockies farm system. Of course, a OG original pitcher gives up number 62.
Leave it to the Rockies to give up records left and right.
And Cloud did ask, is this a record or something? I don't follow baseball now. It's an AL record. So it's the most home runs in American League history. And Judge passed Roger Maris, a Yankee from a long time ago. So it's two Yankees going at it. So in that sense, it was kind of a cool storyline. The Major League record is actually 73 by Barry Bonds. But people dispute that because apparently he was taking an illegal substance, Chris.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
And apparently he didn't quite get the record in the history books because apparently. Do you know that? Anyone know that reference? It's a kid who did an interview back. Anyways, I digress. Scotty was thinking of Juan Pierre, who went to Miami. I love Juan Pierre, by the way.
Wasn't there somebody else they signed to a big deal along the same time as Juan Pierre? Oh, it was the shortstop from the Mets. Didn't he go to Miami? What was his name? And then he ended up
flaming out.
He ended up having like a reported charge against assault on his, I don't know if his wife or his girlfriend or fiance and then he was a Rocky for a little bit actually. He was a shortstop. His best days were with the Mets, but I can't think of who.
Ohtani could be the first $50 million a year player when he hits free agency after next season because of the dual threat ability. I mean, he's insane to watch.
And he's young.
And he's
a lot.
super
Well,
young.
he's not that young, but he's way younger than Aaron Judge. I worry you're just gonna have to overpay for Judge and hope that he keeps it together.
Oh wow, a Rockies pitcher gave it up. Scott, are the Rockies the Lions of the Major League Baseball?
It's not a terrible comparison. The Rockies did make a World Series. I don't think the Lions have ever made a Super Bowl, but it's pretty close. I mean, the Rockies have been around since 1993 and never won the division, Chris. I mean, what are we looking at? That's like 30 years basically, and never won the division.
Yeah. No, it
doesn't help that the Dodgers are there.
Dodgers
pretty greedy.
They put a little bit of a damper on what the Rockies want to do.
I think the Rockies' highest win total in a season in the 30 years is like 92, Chris. 92 wins.
92 wins. And keep in mind, that's kind of crazy. So, speaking of 92 wins, that's the most we've ever had. Braves and the Mets finished the regular season with identical 101 and 61 records. Just the second time in history that two teams finished the season prior to tie-breaking games in the series, tied atop their division or league with 100-plus wins. So, if only we could get some of that here.
Common.
If only we could get some of that here.
100 wins is very hard to do and doesn't happen that often.
We had two teams doing it in the same division. Bonds had to clear his good name, but by joining a clean sport of bicycle racing. Ask Lance Armstrong about that one. What's up, guys? How we doing? Unknown 2324. How we doing, my friend? Hope you're having a great week. Trivia says Milwaukee's. Here, let's go. What is the first game played in London between two winning teams? Is that coming up this week? I want to say that's the game coming up this week. It doesn't happen often.
Packers and Giants this week.
Packers and Giants. Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that it? I don't.
It is.
I honestly don't know. You saw this, didn't you, Chris?
I saw
you
this.
Cheated.
I saw this. Well, I saw this in somewhere else. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw it. So I'm not always.
Does it feel like a good marquee matchup though? Well, one, we don't even know who's going to play quarterback for the Giants. We'll get into this game later, but like, even though they're both 3-1, I'm not that high on either of them right now. Neither of them played that well.
Yeah. We'll get to that game here in a little bit. Sorry, NFL game played in London. Yep. Go Cards, says Joker. Aren't these monster contracts focused on the first few years and prey on the last 6 to 7 to be good? Yeah, it's literally just hoping and praying that you can just get some length out of these contracts.
Baseball's so backwards with how they do contracts, guys. And maybe I'll do it coming in hot on that at some point. I got to be careful because I work in Major League Baseball, but it's so backwards, Chris.
Next up on the docket, we have a blatant assault taking place in this Rams game, and it happens to be this gentleman who gets smashed by a couple Rams.
Don't call him
here.
a gentleman. This nerd. This
nerd gets blasted by Bobby Wagner here, and with this assault, that was a clean hit, says Chairman. Yeah, absolutely. It was totally a clean hit. He didn't lead with the helmet. Look at this. I mean, it's with the shoulder, knocks him down. But the interesting thing was, so in case you missed it, this protester ran onto the field and had a pink smoke bomb and just ran in front of the Rams bench and just gets blown up.
Bruh, look at this dude. And he just absolutely gets destroyed by these two Ram players. And you think, oh, good for him. They took him out good. Like that's what these guys deserve who stormed the field. And sure enough, he comes back and files a police report, Scotty, against the Rams and what took place on this and called it blatant assault. And when you first sent me this story, because I didn't see any of the updates on this until you sent me this update. And I was like, this isn't real. This is like,
you sent me, you're like, is this real? And I'm like, oh, it's 100% real.
I'm like, what do you, like, this guy trespasses on a field. And I was just, I have zero understanding of how this guy is doing what he's doing. But sure enough, he's filed a police report within the county, and he's ready to go. And he doesn't have a lot of legs to stand on here, but he's doing what he can. So apparently this guy's protesting, STG says, about pigs disappearing or something like that. Definite vegetarian or vegan. There's some sort of food and animal cruelty stuff going that he was processing. But Football Wife says that's the best tackle by a Rams player all night. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I mean, that's pretty spot on.
Roger.
That's cute. Scott thinks the Rockies are a major league team. Good evening, fellas. Welcome in, Broncos. Coming in hot.
What's up, Broncos? Technically, they are by rule.
Manningcast showed it and loved it. It was hilarious watching them react to this. Oh, you know who else it was awesome to hear was Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan, who called this, was incredible. And we're gonna maybe I'll play at the end of the show some Kevin Harlan best streaker radio calls, because he is absolutely incredible with how he calls some of these weird things that happen. I mean, if there's anybody that you want to broadcast when there's a streaker, it's Kevin Harlan. He crushes. So with that being said, Scotty, what do you think of this story?
I hate everything about this. First, I'll start first with Chris. Have you ever once watched a sporting event, saw someone charge the field or court wearing some stupid shirt about animal rights or whatever it is, or blah, 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 and then all of a sudden looked into it and like, you know what? They're right. We should really, if anything, I go the opposite direction. I'm like, I'm going to eat more bacon, Chris. I'm going to have more bacon this week because this dude pissed me off and annoyed me by even charging the field. And what pisses me off even more is he charges the field and then he wants to press charges against a guy who just brings him down. Now, I have seen reports like NFL players are coached up to not involve themselves with people like that because this could happen. But this is, Chris, if I could label the single worst issue in America, it's this. It's the lack of responsibility that people take. And they're just like, I'll just sue you because how could I have foreseen that I was going to get tackled when I was on the field when I had no business being there with my stupid shirt and my stupid smoke bomb? Like, this dude's a clown. He's an idiot. I hate him. I hate him so much. Okay, I wish, quite frankly, everyone's like, Bobby Wagner hit him pretty good. I wish Bobby Wagner hit him way harder, Chris. Bobby Wagner could have hit him a lot harder. Okay, he kind of laid up on this. And then all things are considered, Chris, it's actually, there's been a lot on social media I've seen this week outside of this, where it's like this guy with a chart on his like whiteboard, and it's like a chart, and the x-axis is like fuck around, and the y-axis or whatever is like find out.
Yep.
This guy hit the fuck around and he found out.
He found out.
And he found out. And he deserves everything that happened to him and more, Chris. He fucked around and he found out. Okay?
He found out.
And I'm just like, you shouldn't be able to, when you're illegally trespassing in an area, and quite frankly, he had like a smoke bomb, but you don't know what else you have. Like, I hope Wagner can argue, like, I didn't know if I was in danger. I saw a smoke bomb. I saw this guy charging at me. I dropped into the ground to protect myself. Hopefully that is a legitimate argument, and I hope that works out, because he should lose no money, and this guy should not get $1. He should be citation. He should put in jail for a night, and then nothing else should come of it. He should have to pay his fine or whatever. But man, like, it's just, don't award these people. It's like years ago, a guy ate McDonald's every day, got fat, and then sued McDonald's for being fat. Chris, why can't anyone have personal responsibility anymore? Take responsibility for what happens to you. You eat McDonald's every day, you're probably gonna be fat, Chris.
Yep.
All right. That's just, and don't tell me you didn't see that coming. You didn't know that was happening.
Roger.
All right. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb that a lawsuit like this can be filed and potentially win. Because where's the common sense, Chris? That dude should be knocked out every time he enters the field. and he should be hit harder than he was.
I mean,
frankly.
you've had this popping up everywhere. I mean, you had people gluing hands to the court in Minnesota Timberwolves games. You have all sorts of things happening across, and it's like people are just nuts, man. I just don't understand, like, how many people it realistically changed their mindset after seeing this and say, you know what, I'm not going to eat pork anymore. You know what, I'm gonna go. I'm not going to do this action anymore because of what I saw on the court or on the field. It doesn't make sense. Could this be a Scotty A. Smith rant of the week topic? Yeah, it could be. And you got a mini rant. It was a mini rant.
Yeah.
The Mannings,
makes me so mad.
The Mannings were like, he is not a real streaker. Go all out. Like, I mean, yeah, that's true too. Clout, talk about Brady. We'll talk about Brady here in a second. Don't worry. We got you. I saw a guy try to run the field of the Bills game once. Then WWE looking security guy took him down before he even got out of the end zone. Some teams are better than others. They look out for this stuff, but Wagner could have put him in a body cast, no doubt, says JK, 100%. A few years ago, Broncos security guard broke his leg having a tackle a streaker.
I think a dude, if you watch this replay, Chris, one security guy running after him messed up his leg real bad, actually. He wasn't anywhere near the guy, but he messed up his leg real bad. And then my pro football doc was asked to like comment on it. He's like, I don't comment on people who are just doing their job and get injured. And everyone's like, isn't that all you do? Isn't that literally what you do? Because aren't football players employees of the NFL? Like, that's exactly what you do. It was bizarre.
This guy didn't factor in finding out into the equations. It's just random.
Yeah. You gotta hit both sides of the axis to know. If you fuck around, eventually you hit a point where you're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out. Yeah, that's a great video. Maybe we should share that sometime. Whenever somebody gets just out of control in our chat and just starts fucking around, just find out. Just find out. Scotty did a segment way early. This stuff should never happen. Watching this segment,
well, everyone was talking about going to bed. So I wanted to get it in early.
Chairman is like, watching this segment is making me want a fat BLT.
Yeah. You make yourself a BLT right now, Chairman.
When does common sense come back into style? Broncos, I don't think it does.
We're
sometimes.
so far from common sense right now, and you look at the youth, it doesn't look like it's on the horizon. I'm so terrified. Cuban's like, was it really ever? Probably not, but it's gone further and further in the wrong direction, Chris, and it's terrifying that we just can't use common sense anymore. It is absolutely terrifying.
I don't know, man. I play the Manning video real quick. YouTube search. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
I was watching the Manning cast. Yeah, they were good. They were good. Peyton got hyped about it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Jake, while you're looking at that, JK says put avocado on BLT. It's amazing. Yeah, I would just substitute out the tomato completely and just put avocado on there.
I'm just gonna
because tomatoes suck.
I'm just gonna play the short clip here on the play audio here.
We got a visitor on the field here. Can we rewind that? Eli, can you do the tablet on this streaker on the field? No? Can I do it on the big board?
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull this up.
You got to break down his move.
Oh, I was like, Chris, because I know I can't hear it, so I'm like, was it going? Is it going? Is it not going? Why don't you let me know when it started, and I will then shut up. I'll shut my mouth.
It's going.
But a nice hit though, right? It was a nice legal hit.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I thought
it was going.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm so confused.
They don't want to talk about it. I understand the A team couldn't show it, but the B team, like, we should be able to show that.
I think that's why. Here you go. Oh, yeah.
There he is. There he is. Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's what we're talking about. Wagner,
Bobby.
A veteran, right? Get him down. Now get out and let these guys take over.
Oh,
Bobby Wagner, veteran play.
Veteran play.
Yeah, he's got a T-shirt on. I mean, he's promoting.
It makes no sense to me. If that was a security guard, it would be, you would have no like lawsuit really. But because it was not a security guard, you can't. That's stupid to me. Knock that dude out. Knock him out harder.
Here we go.
I want him unconscious.
Hi, I'm Scotty, talking through the sound.
Talking through this.
I can't hear the sound. I don't know when the sound is going.
We got to test that other video stuff this week. We got to see if we can get you some of the sounds for sure. I like avocado in my guacamole only, says STG. Talk about avocados and BLTs. Wouldn't that be an BLTA?
Or a BLAT.
BLAT or a
BLTA.
BLT or any
You can
combination.
put that A wherever you want.
You can put the A wherever
Place
you
that
want.
A in any order you'd like.
But then does that not make it a BLT anymore? That's not. Then it's not.
It's still a BLT.
It's not a BLT because it has an A in there.
No, of course it's still a BLT. Get out of here. The moment you put like other meat on it is where it becomes like not a BLT. If bacon is your only meat on a sandwich, it's a BLT regardless.
It's a blat. It's a blat.
It's blat. You know, and you throw some mayo on there. You don't say BLATM or BL. I don't know, BLMAT. Black Lives Matter. No,
we just go.
No,
we're not even
going down that road.
Are we talking sandwiches anymore? No.
I don't want to talk about it, but did you see Kanye wear like a White Lives Matter shirt?
I guess.
For some reason?
I don't know. I can't keep track of Kanye anymore, man.
No one can.
Kanye and Antonio Brown need to go off and be on like an island together and just like hang out and post content on their social media and start a TV show like Love Island with Kanye.
I think they would hate each other though. I don't think they're the same. They're the same but very different, Chris. They're both insane, but in very different ways. And of course, you saw the Antonio Brown hotel pool or whatever.
Oh, he had the incident where he was letting it all hang out.
Just showing it out there and like kind of like grabbing a female that was in the pool at the time, and she was like, I gotta swim away from this. That dude's out of his mind.
Speaking of Antonio Brown and all the weird stuff, Antonio Brown posted on social media with like Giselle. Speaking of Brady and Giselle, with all the news coming out this week that they are getting lawyers to get a divorce underway. Crazy things. But then all of a sudden you see Antonio Brown post a Photoshop picture with him and Giselle. Then you got Zach Wilson, which I don't know. Was that real? Was the Zach Wilson thing real?
No, that was not real.
I saw that all over the place. And I saw that in our Discord and I was like, is that real? No,
the Zach Wilson was not real.
That's ballsy if it was. But I mean, she is a mom and she is older.
Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
BP wants us to say something nice about the Bears.
They won 2 games.
I was going to say, the Bears had a great win against San Francisco. They had a great win against San Francisco. And, I'll say something else about the Bears. They have a new social media guy that is just crushing on the scene. And it's that guy that's crying, and his wife comes in, and he's like, like, leave me alone. Get out of here. I've loved the Bears longer than I've loved you. Yeah, you guys got some great social media, too. Like, you guys crush it. But yeah, so we have some Brady Giselle drama going on, and this is all coming from the offseason when Brady decided to come back. He came out of retirement. Giselle was not having it. She wanted Tom to be at home. He's had enough of football, and he thought otherwise. Decided to come out of retirement and just start playing games.
Let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice.
Scotty, did he go too far on the fucking around chart?
Tom?
With Giselle coming back to play football on her fucking around chart. Yes.
He did on her chart for sure. I don't know. Were they ultimately happy? I don't know. I wasn't ever there. If it happens now, it was probably going to happen eventually. If someone's away and you get frustrated by that, you might be more annoyed by them when they're around more, Chris, quite frankly. Because it's not like they both live busy lives. What happens when you're stuck with each other all the time? Maybe that doesn't work out either. So all this does is open up Brady to play more years, really, Chris. Focus on football. You know,
I mean, he's having a barn
and
burner of a year this year.
he doesn't have to worry about Giselle being mad at him. He's free, Chris. He's free because everyone's like, "Oh, he lost Giselle." I'm like, I think Brady's gonna be fine. I think Brady's just gonna be just fine. Now, what I don't love, Chris, is a lot of people like making light and making fun of like their divorce and things of that nature.
It gets a little
like just. I mean, I don't know. Don't get involved. Don't make light of the situation. There are kids there that are probably, really upset about what's happening with their parents. And obviously most of us, even if you go through a divorce, my parents got divorced, Chris, don't do it on a national stage where you have to read about it all over the place and people commenting and not a nice manner about making light of how your family's, separating. So I'm not here for that. I don't want to do that. But I think Brady's gonna have a FU game this weekend, Chris.
Is he gonna go scorched earth?
Yeah, I do.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Was gotta say something nice. Allen Robinson on my fantasy team. Allen Robinson.
I have to say something nice about that.
I'm sorry, STG, that's the case because it's the case for me too. And here's the nice thing I'll say: he will be good eventually. Because I think Matt Stafford that offense is looking rough right now, and it's tough to look at right now. It's hard. It's a tire fire right now. It'll get better. I have to believe that.
What my nice comment is, I was high on Allen Robinson in fantasy football coming into the season. I thought he'd be a nice number 2 in a passing offense with the Rams. But what we didn't see coming is the Rams offensive line is much worse than last year. Stafford doesn't look fully healthy, and Stafford I don't know if he's blind in one eye. Wherever Allen Robinson is on the field, he just can't see that part of the field. He only can see Cooper Kupp and sometimes Tyler Higbee. Those are the only 2 players that Matthew Stafford knows or can see on the field. No one else. So I don't know if it's going to get better, Chris. Allen Robinson hasn't really separated a ton either, or looked super like elusive or quick. He might be done, Chris. He might be done.
I hope not. I mean, for my fantasy team's sake. Devil Doc, good evening. Nice jersey over there, Chris. Thank you. Got to represent the Zags, so I could get disappointed again this year. College basketball's coming up here soon, so got to throw on some basketball gear here soon. Screw Brady. But this is always sad, says Cuban.
I'm on the screw Brady train.
This is confusing because I thought we all agreed that the retirement was fake, never actually happening. Well, in
Tom's head it was.
In Tom's head it was. In Giselle's head, he didn't obviously communicate enough to her to say, you know what, like I'm retiring. However, I'm not going to tell you that I'm retiring because I want out of Tampa. I'm retiring because I want a different team. And then she understood that as she heard the wop 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 wop, like the Peanuts teacher, right? And believed everything that Tom said. And then he turned around and was like, actually, I can't get out of this situation of leaving Tampa. I guess I'll stay and I'll play. I think that's kind of how it went. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
And he probably read the situation wrong with her, but I've said it before, Chris, and I don't like to guess on things, but she has always come off to me as like not a very warm, light person that's easy to get along with. She seems like she's a firecracker, and that could be good. That's not a bad thing, but that means like when there's highs and lows, like I think she's a very like highly emotional person. Obviously Brady, when you're that competitive and that strive for greatness in that way, you're the same way. And when those two people are together, like eventually it could combust, Chris. I don't know a lot about science. I don't even believe in science technically, but
I mean, I'm the science guru on this show. We've talked about that already.
Yeah, well, science isn't real, Chris. So I don't know why you're taking credit for being the science guru. It's not real.
Science isn't real, and the Earth is flat. And then we have all, like we have.
Didn't say that. Didn't say the Earth is flat, but science isn't real because science always changes, Chris. So it's never actually real because it just evolves into something else because no one ever knows what they're actually talking about.
Did you?
Science.
I saw this clip of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is okay. We're gonna go on a tangent here. Neil deGrasse Tyson was on a show. He was on like Stephen Colbert or something, and they asked him like, "What was the question that you are most that keeps you up at night?" And
Colbert still has a show, by the way.
Does
Good
he?
for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just saw a clip. It's a recent clip, I think.
No, I believe you. I don't know.
I didn't look at the timestamp or the date, but he was like, "Oh, it's the questions that we don't know to ask." And it's like, you can ask a chimp like, "Oh, like what time is it?" And they're like, "I don't know. We share 99% DNA with chimpanzees, whatever." But like they don't know what time is or what dates are, or whatever. Like, and then he's like, "What if there's like some being out there that's 99% the same as us, but they're like 1% better than us, and they have questions for us that we have no idea what to ask." And so the fact that we don't know what to ask the questions, it's like, we don't even know what to ask because we don't know what the questions even are.
Yeah, it's just a fake thing that people made up, Chris. Science. And it's like, oh, this is true until it's not anymore. And then it changes to, like the COVID vaccines, Chris. They work until, oh, wait, they actually don't. Sorry, I don't want to go to that tangent. But you know what doesn't change? Math. Math is real, Chris. until like elementary schools now there's no wrong answer in math. And that just blows my mind. Don't get me started on that. But math never changes. Math is real. Science. Oh, man. Ever evolving science. That just means you're wrong. You're right until you're wrong, and eventually you'll always be wrong.
See, this is what we love, Brady. He always brings the best out of our show. We talk science, all sorts of. What's up, G Girl? How we doing? Let's give a shout out to G Girl in the chat. If you're not following G Girl, I don't know what you're doing.
How was your stream?
Hope it was good. No state taxes in Florida. He is there to stay. The jury is out on science, says Cuban. Yeah, you're with Scotty on that one.
Yeah,
Scotty is 100% on it again. Science isn't something you believe; it's something you question. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
You should question it because it's always wrong, Chris. Everything that's told to be right ends up being wrong 50 years later.
G Girl, Nuggets. Yeah, well, Nuggets and Jokic MVP. I could only hope. I don't think he'll win it this year.
There's no chance he's winning it 3 years in a row. He would literally have to average
he would have to lead the league in scoring.
He'd have to average 30 plus points and average a triple double, Chris.
Yeah.
In order to be MVP. They're not going to give it to him three years in a row.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. They would have to. There's zero chance I think he gets it. I think no, there's 5% chance he gets it. But he's not going to get there. Brady always gets the best of everyone. Yeah, you're right, Chairman. It's true. You don't make me question science?
Not always. I mean, Mahomes got the best of him the other night.
STG says, the thing that makes me question science is people having their burgers and steak well done. True. I mean,
that's just a brain malfunction. That's like a brain malfunction that we should have scientists dive into and tell us why, only to be wrong about why.
Proven science is wrong. Yeah. Okay, I like it.
WAG says they don't even give math grades out until like high school now. My kids will not go to those schools.
Is that
my
a real
kid?
Thing?
I don't know, but that's ridiculous. Like, how do you even know if you don't know math? How do you know what happens when you get an 80% on a test, Chris? You're like, I don't even know what that means. Is that good? Does that mean I was perfect? 80% is the new perfect, Chris.
I guess.
Because math doesn't matter anymore because there is no wrong answers in math. I hate our country so much, Chris. I hate the people in our country so much.
I mean,
I hate them.
Except,
I hate them.
Except for
this whole stream is going to be a Scotty A. Smith rant, Chris. I'm so mad.
Have we ever
My kid is in kindergarten and he has parent-teacher conferences next week, and I better know exactly how he's doing in math. All right? Can he multiply? Can he divide yet? He's 5. Why can't he do this?
I'm just gonna disappear and just let you do a rant of the week, and then we'll just do a 3-hour rant. It'll be perfect.
Wags is like, yes, my son is in 5th grade and gets a grade in everything but math. Chris, how does that even make sense? So he gets a percentage of how well he's done in every other class except for the class that involves percentages? What are we doing? What are we doing, Chris? How does it make it make sense? I mean, it's so dumb. Think out loud, people. We shouldn't. There's no wrong answer in math if you show your work. Bullshit. If your work's wrong, it's wrong. That's the only answer that's right is math. That's the only thing. Even English changes. They add words to the dictionary. They say, oh, you no longer need a comma here, no longer need a comma here, there. You know what never changes, Chris? Math. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. And there's always a wrong answer. There's billions of wrong answers on each question, Chris. Billions. I'm probably going to get a text from my wife soon.
I'm giving you your own Scotty A. Smith mini rant. We've had 2 coming in hot, and we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. How crazy is that? Guys, you're in for a fiery show tonight, guys. I can't wait. That's for the end of this. My son is 5th grade, gets everything but math. What else do we have? Chris died. Yeah, I did that on purpose so I could give Scotty his rant of the week. Is there is piss in that beard, says Broncos.
Probably.
Would now be a good time for a commercial, says Reckoning. I love math until my freshman year in high school. I was not. I was good at math until about senior year of high school. Then I was like over it. I didn't give a shit anymore. Love the Zags jersey, Chris. Thanks. Appreciate that. Dope. Hey, gotta represent my Gonzaga Bulldogs. I had to marry in to be a Gonzaga fan, so I earned that right. You know what I wanted to be when I grew up? A volcanologist. I get paid money to be wrong all the time. Okay. I love it. There's
a lot of people that get paid to do that out there.
Math question. Tom Brady has $650 million. How much the ex-wife get? LOL. What's up?
Is she not worth more? What's up, Fatal Gamble?
Fatal Gamble, welcome in. By the way, Fatal, remind me who your team is. I forget. Welcome in. Guys, by the way, we have a big group in here tonight. Hit that follow button if you have not already. We want to grow our followers, and let's get more Shaq shimmies going on in the chat with the follows, so you know when we go live. Football wife, I'm already in bed. Let's not get on that. Let's not
talk
again.
about who's touching toes under the sheets or whatever.
Or stealing
Stay
covers.
on your side.
Stealing covers. We already had enough of that Sunday night. Let's leave that alone. Football wife knows what she's doing. She knows. She knows.
Just stirring the pot. I'm already fired up.
Stirring
it. Mackey's trying to. He's like, it sucks being right all the time. You know what I'm saying, Scotty? I know what you're saying. I don't know how that correlates to you, though, Mackey. I love you, Mackey. I love you. You're great. And he said, love the lid, so I appreciate that.
Reckoning has it here. That's why they broke up. Tom stole Gisele's fancy covers. That makes total sense now.
I mean, they probably have the softest sheets in the world, Chris. You don't play around with soft sheets like that.
No. Devil Doc, Jorge Sands, director of basketball ops at Gonzaga, went to school at my high school, was coached by my dad. He's a great guy. That's awesome. So, Devil Doc, you're a big Zags fan then. I mean, I think maybe. Yeah.
I mean, the regular season's a lot of fun. when you're a Zags fan.
No, it's the best.
I kid.
No, it is the best. And then you come into realization that the tournament's coming in. You're just like, well, that was fun. The lid sucks now. The lid sucks now that I'm looking at it more closely.
Don't lie. I'll get you one, Mackie. I'll send you one of these sweet Nuggets lids, so you can jump on the Nuggets bandwagon instead of having to watch your Rockets this year.
Fatal Gamble. I'm in Australia. Hey, there we go. Aussie, another Aussie in the chat. There we go. APC is also a good friend. Hope you're sinking tins down there with us, Fatal Gamble. Enjoying everything down under. Love it. We love when we have everybody from Australia come in. Hey, Valhalla Sports Talk. Welcome in.
Thank you for the follow and Shaq shimmy right there. Welcome, Valhalla.
Who's your team and where are you from? We like to get to know you a little bit. All right, so let's dive into this week's Week 5 preview. We have a lot of games to cover and not enough time to do it, so we got to get into here all of these games, and we are starting out with Thursday night football tonight, and that is Colts and Broncos. So this one will be popping up tomorrow. And we won't be covering this one live, but we will be in our Discord talking a lot about this. Obviously, my Broncos. I'm a big Broncos fan. If you're new to the chat, Scotty's a Chiefs fan. But we have two disappointing teams here. Two disappointing teams that had higher expectations coming into the season. I would argue the Colts had a huge hype going into the season. I guess the Broncos didn't have. I would say the Broncos didn't have as much hype as the Colts coming into the season, given the fact that the Colts were in a weaker division and they should be a lot better given who is in their division. The Broncos, well, I saw everything from winning the division to finishing last in the division. So, I think the higher expectations were the Colts in this one. But we have a matchup between these two teams who have not achieved what they really should. And that's a Broncos team that has lost to the Raiders as of last week. They had struggles offensively, top to bottom. But Scotty Valhalla, Vikings, Dodgers, Lakers, Kings. So we got 3 LA teams and 1 Minnesota team live in Arizona. That's a whole lot of different areas. I love it, Valhalla. But your Vikings, we'll talk about them here soon. Dodgers look great. Lakers, and Kings. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into the Kings too much when it comes to the hockey scene.
Kings are gonna. No offense, Valhalla. We're talking hockey. I was thinking Sacramento. The Kings weren't great last year. I don't think they made the playoffs, so we'll see in the NHL. But this game's gonna be great, Chris. Great Thursday night matchup. Two teams. That have, Javonte Williams versus Jonathan Taylor. Great running back matchup. That's why I kind of put these photos.
That's the big news.
Obviously, we had big news with Javonte Williams. Not only did I thought it was like not a season-ending injury based off of just looking at it, Chris. It's like worse than he. Not only did he tear his ACL, he did like 4 other things. He destroyed his knee. Like, it was not good. Jonathan Taylor. They kept saying he's questionable. I never thought he was going to play this week, and they ruled him out finally today with the ankle sprain. So we have a short week, 2 underachieving teams, and then you have Russell, who apparently hurt his throwing shoulder on Sunday. So he's been... Chris, he literally has a video out there that he's Mr. Unlimited. Limited, and he's literally been limited in practice all week, Chris. Very limited.
Come on, man.
I just want to say it like he does because it's really stupid and makes you sound like an idiot. But I don't. I mean, this game's gonna. I think both defenses are gonna ball out. I actually went. I was in between taking the Colts plus 3.5 and taking the Broncos team total under. So one of my best bets of the week is actually the team total under on the Broncos. So I think the Broncos will score less than 23.5 in this game. They've only got to... Actually, what did they score last week? Have they even got to 24? I think they did last week, right? No, they were at 23. Yep. So they've scored 16, 16, 11, and 23 in their 4 games. They're going up against a good defense on a short week without your best running back. And your quarterback is banged up in his throwing shoulder. Like, I don't see them putting up a lot of points in this game. They might squeak this one out. I think it's going to be the good news, if you're watching this game, is it should be close because neither team's going to score a lot of points. Unless there's some crazy turnovers, maybe some defensive scores or special team scores or things like that. That could turn it into a large win. But I see this being a close game at least, but a low-scoring game. And I'm taking the under on the Broncos 23.5 team total.
I mean, honestly, the total of this entire game is 42.5 now. It hasn't, which is weird, that the fact that it hasn't dropped too much. But I like the under in general, just across the board. I mean, first of all, you got Indianapolis coming into Denver, which is, a decent home field advantage for the most part in the NFL. Then you also have a Matt Ryan who struggles just in general. Me and Matt Ryan. I've never banged on Matt Ryan's drum ever.
I'm sorry, you've never what? Banged on Matt Ryan?
Drum.
Oh, drum. Got it.
Bruh.
Somebody clip that.
Come on, man. But no, I just have never been a Matt Ryan believer, and I don't like this Colts team. This team is not good. The Broncos aren't good either. I'll put it out there. My boys have struggled. But I do like them. If you were to hold a gun to my head and be like, you got to pick one side on this, I think the Broncos come out on top. I would take the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos money line at -190 is not even. There's no value there for me to even do that. That's ridiculous. But I think the Broncos might squeak out a quick win here. I think the defense of the Broncos that they have. What's weird is Randy Gregory got knocked out of this game, and so did Javonte Williams, and the line didn't move that much, which was really eerie to me. Like, there wasn't a lot of change in the line in Vegas with two top guys, one on each side of the football, losing, and then you have a Matt. But it wasn't.
You had Jonathan Taylor go out for the Colts, so
then you had Jonathan Taylor. But that was already kind of
counteracts it.
But that was kind of already. Kind of known.
Well, no, we knew all three of those guys were out.
But I mean, how does Pittman do though? Says Devil Doc. With JT out, is going to be him. We've seen that. I think that Matt Ryan might force the ball a little bit too much when they don't have their.
Ryan looks cooked.
He looks cooked, and I don't love the fact that they're going up against my boy Surtain. I think he's going to do well against this. I've seen some media outlets saying, Pittman's going to go off for 110 yards and a couple touchdowns. I'm like, against who? Not against it. Like, I don't know. This defense is pretty good. So I don't expect to see that by any means. I think maybe he gets, I think maybe he gets, a handful of catches, but I do like the Broncos overall in this one. Not by a lot, but Valhalla, watch out for Mike Boone as the sneaky DFS play. I think Mike Boone is going to get a lot of love here. But
as a DFS, I like him. I wouldn't start him in like a year-long fantasy league because I still think Melvin Gordon's going to get the bulk. But in a DFS where you can get him at a low price or whatever, that makes a ton of sense.
Chris, we still love Russell Wilson, says Mackie.
Chris, I've seen questions out there, and this is a good question. Did Russell Wilson waste Pete Carroll's prime? Everyone thought it was the other way. But now we just see Geno Smith doing things Russell never could do in Seattle. And I'll say it again. Geno Smith, Chris, had a game last week that Russell literally has never had in his life. Chris, you know what I really, really want? Because there are crazy people out there right now, and you write storylines and you want people to click on your thing. So they're like, after a quarter of a season, MVP stuff. And literally some people are mentioning Geno Smith, and I think that's idiotic and ridiculous, and they're doing it for clicks. But you know what I want, Chris? I want one person to put Geno Smith in their MVP voting. Because you know who's never got an MVP vote?
Get out of here.
Russell Wilson. I just want one person to vote for Geno Smith just because of that. Like, it could be a Seattle Seahawks writer. I don't even care. You know how much that would piss off Russell? Just one person, please. Of course, Geno Smith's not going to be the MVP of the league. Of course not. But one person, please vote for him. I don't even care.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Geno Smith picked week 4 2020. Latavius Murray is the same type of HB as Javonte, so they should be able to plug him right in and misuse him.
I mean, Murray's not going to play this week, but then they'll have 10 days. So they plucked up Latavius Murray off the practice squad from New Orleans, right? New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he's a vet. He's a vet. I mean, he's on a practice squad. He's for a reason. He's not going to just blow your mind, but he's at least reliable and been in the league a long time. So,
are you certain about certain? Yeah, I'm certain. I'm certain.
I think the word is certain. Are you certain about certain?
I think he was doing a play on words with that one. Let's see. Cooper Rush MVP says Chop. Hey, welcome in, Chop. How we doing? Rush deserves more respect, says G Girl. I mean,
wait for our Dallas preview. I got a nice photo of Cooper Rush on there.
So we have some other stuff going on in the chat. So, all right. So check this out with us tomorrow. We'll be in our Discord. We'll be talking about this game. We'll be posting on Twitter and all the places. So make sure you go in and join us every time we're talking about these games when we're not online. So Colts, Broncos. I got Broncos winning this game barely, but this is going to be an ugly one, guys. It will be an ugly Thursday night football. Next up, Bengals at Ravens. So we have a division rivalry here. Bengals right now are going to Baltimore as 3-point underdogs. So Ravens at home getting -3. This one, 48.5 is the over-under. Scotty, what do you like here in this one? What catches your attention in this one?
I don't have a strong lean on this one. My lean would be the Ravens. I think they win this game by at least 3. I could see them winning by 3, though. I just think, and the Ravens are 2-2 in an embarrassing fashion. They should be 4-0. Quite frankly, they've given up 2 huge leads against Miami and Buffalo. Now they are coming off some tough games, and it's in a tough spot. And you have Cincinnati coming off a Thursday night, so they get extra time building up to this week. I just don't know. I don't know, Chris. I don't know that the Bengals have figured out their offensive line stuff and their offense fully yet. And their defense was never elite last year. It just made plays at the right time, kind of the situation that got them to the Super Bowl. The Ravens secondary is an abomination. They're terrible. So if you can't, and their pass rush isn't elite. So literally, I'm talking myself into the Bengals now. The Bengals should be able to move the football against this Ravens defense that's beat up, not that good. You have Marcus Peters fighting with Harbaugh as they're exiting the field. You had Jimmy Smith retire this week as a corner from the Ravens. They're just kind of in shambles there, but I think the Ravens are actually a pretty good team. I think they're the better team. So that's why I don't have a strong lean either way, but I think the Ravens pull this one out. Sorry, football wife. I know you're in bed. I don't mean to upset you. The Bengals could easily win this one. I just think the Ravens have been playing better through 4 games this year.
I think it's an interesting matchup. I actually, I was leaning more when it comes to the over-under at the over. I feel like there couldn't be a lot of scoring in this one. Both Cincinnati scoring on the Ravens secondary.
Look at this dude.
And then also just the fact that the Ravens just put up a bunch of points and just they're very dynamic offensively too. So I think that if I'm leaning one way or another, the over seems a little bit better than anything else. So I'm not betting one side or the other. I think this would be a close game, but I could see this getting into the 50s. Easy.
I actually like the over, Chris.
Yeah.
I like the over.
So I got the Ravens at home, says G Girl. Her bedtime was hours ago. What else do we have in the chat? But yeah, I think, overall, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, after the first 2 weeks, the Bengals went 0-2, and then they got 2 double-digit wins over the last couple of weeks, albeit against some maybe softer competition, which is it's fine, but you still got
Dolphins.
You got to have some bounce back
beat
games.
The Dolphins.
And either way, I think that this...
You know who didn't beat the Dolphins? The Ravens, Chris.
It's true. It's true. They gave up that big lead against they choked that one away pretty quickly. So
yep.
I think it's going to be a close one. Baltimore at home. I mean, this is going to be a Justin Tucker game coming down to the wire. Maybe he hits that game-winning field goal, and it ends up being that 3-point spread that we're looking at right now. So I can see this being a Justin Tucker game.
I mean, two of the best kickers in the game.
I was just about to say, excited. This is going to be hyping
sleep
up.
on Evan McPherson.
We had the
all right.
best
Don't
kickers.
upset Football Wife like that. I think that might be Football Wife's favorite player, actually.
I think, you know what we should have done? We should have put both kickers as the highlight reel on this preview.
I blew it. If I had a second chance at this, I would have done it. I would have put both kickers.
No, it's not the same, Hubbard.
No,
27-24.
it's not the same, Hubbard.
Devil Doc says all field goals, 27-24.
That's a lot of field goals, Devil Doc.
I'll take the over and kicker points, whatever that is. Let's do the
Devil
over.
Doc. This is totally a different segment, but he was talking about Rock Chalk earlier, and I missed talking about it. How about game day, Chris? I didn't even touch on this as a KU fan. Game day, college game day in college football, going to Lawrence this week, Chris.
Are you traveling down for it?
I'm not, because I have to go to my goddaughter's birthday. You know?
Oh, who's that?
That comes first. That's your daughter, Chris. You should know that. That's your daughter. So your daughter turns 3.
Yep.
So you got a little birthday party. So
sorry, I ruined your trip.
The best moment. Yeah, you ruined everything again.
I'll tell my 3-year-old that she ruined her godfather's weekend.
Yeah, John, our uncle-in-law was like, "Oh, it'd be a great week to go out there for it if it wasn't for Brooklyn's birthday." And I was like, "Bruh." But yes. Shout out to Kansas. First time now there's only like 5 D1 FBS programs that haven't had college game day in their home at their home location, because Kansas was 6 and now 5.
All right. Well, there you go. The Godfather.
The Godfather. I am the Godfather.
Bring in the gifts.
We got some sweet gifts. Don't you worry.
I hope Schittsburg loses 77-3. Says Football Wife's in bed. Just salty. I love
Pittsburgh, huh? Schittsburg. Just. I like it. Although I hope they don't lose by that many, based off of one of my best bets.
Yeah, that's true. G girl, she needs to go to bed. Bungle's gonna bungle. Says
she's already in bed. I don't know why everyone feels like everyone has to tell Football Wife what to do. Football Wife's in charge of us. It's not the other way around. She is the resident adult in the room. Everyone else obey Football Wife. You don't give her demands.
Breaking news. We got the Royals fired their manager today. There you go. Mike Matheny is gone. There you go. Cardinals legend, says Reckoning. All right.
R.I.P.
Rip. He gone. So, all right. Cowboys at Rams. You want to talk about a couple teams that are like the weirdest teams, and maybe more so the Cowboys than anything else. But the Rams haven't started out the season looking like Super Bowl contenders, even though they are defending champions. And then you also have the Cowboys, who thought they were going to be absolutely a mess. We were talking about who are they going to get in as quarterback? They're going to reach out to somebody random. They're going to try to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. All these rumors, and everyone's trying to put a plug in the boat that was leaking. And sure enough, Cooper Rush is the guy that plugged the boat and is getting the Cowboys to the promised land, because he is just crushing it for the Cowboys. And he also has some help. The defense has been playing absolutely spectacular, but we have two teams going in different directions here. Now, the latest line I saw on this one.
Yeah, this has moved a lot. I made this line. This was the line yesterday, but it's moved a lot, Chris.
And here's the thing. When we made the line yesterday, and it was 4, I was like, if this goes to like 5.5, this might be one of my best bets of the week, as taking Dallas plus 5.5, which is where it's at now. I love Dallas in this one, in the sense that I love covering that spread. This is, I think the LA Rams, this is going to be half filled with Cowboys fans. Cowboys are going to be very well represented as a fan base in LA. So I think this isn't necessarily a home game for the Rams. And then you have a Cowboys team that has a great defense against a struggling offense. We don't know what's going on with Matt Stafford at the moment with his elbow. Maybe that's coming into play. You have Cooper Kupp, who can get open against anybody, but you have a decent defense that can get some pressure on Matt Stafford, make him feel uncomfortable. First of all, I think this could be a lower scoring game. Second of all, I think I like the Cowboys plus 5.5 and the under in this one. I didn't bet this, but I was very, very close to making this one of my picks of the week.
I mean, this has the same over-under line, Chris, as tomorrow night's game with the Broncos and Colts. 43.5 is a pretty small number when you're talking about the defending Super Bowl champions and the king of the South. Okay, when Cooper Rush. All right, crown that man. I make fun of it because I don't actually believe it, but he's played well, but they've also put up great game plans to not make him do too much and to like play action and think like this is exactly the game plan they should use, especially with the elite defense that Dallas has when Dak comes back. Like, I hope they learn something from this, and I hope their offensive coordinator, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he was the quarterback at Boise State for a long time, the best quarterback ever at Boise State. I can't think of his name right now, but I hope he learns from this. Talking about this game.
Kellen Moore.
Thank you. The reason I use this photo for Cooper Kupp, Chris, is because he's like, I'm the only one person that Matthew Stafford throws to, so It's just me. I'm the one. Or he's pointing to his eye and being like, that's the only eye that Matthew Stafford can see out of. Just that one. Just that one. I don't know which it is, but it's one of those two for sure that he's doing. Cooper Rush looks like he could be in like Game of Thrones right here, right now. Doesn't he? Like, look at him. He could be like a king. And I mean, with that beard, that ginger beard he's got going, and he looks like he's, I don't know, he looks like he's on something right there, or he's just mad at someone.
The next king
like a
of
mean mug.
Next king of Casterly Rock right there, you know?
Dallas is the only defense, I believe, to hold opponents all 4 weeks under 20 points. Granted, they haven't played like elite offenses, but the Rams offense that we thought was going to be elite does not look that way right now, Chris. They look in shambles. The offensive line isn't good. We talked about the quarterback play is questionable. They don't have the weapons you thought they did outside of Cooper Kupp. It's like a one-man show out there. The running game isn't working with Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. I mean, everything is not working offensively, and that defense is... I mean, Aaron Donald actually hasn't been the factor, I would argue, that he's been in years past even. And Jalen Ramsey's got beat sometimes. Like, we watched Debo threw some shade, by the way, after that game on Jalen on social media. But everything's trending towards the Cowboys in this one. Cowboys, winners of 3 straight after a week 1 loss. Cooper Rush. Dak's getting a little closer to playing. Maybe he could play next week. Maybe one more week after that. We'll see. Everything's trending, and that's why I don't want to bet it. Like, everything, it seems so obvious to bet the Cowboys, especially at 5.5. That's what I want to bet, but it seems too obvious, Chris. Well, it's like, what am I missing? What am I missing?
That's one of the things that I'm wondering is like, all right, Aaron Donald, you mentioned, isn't looking the same Aaron Donald as he always does. And his offensive line, initially we were like, this offensive line is not going to be as good as what we're used to seeing, but they've righted that ship and they've played very well generally.
Talking about Cowboys?
They've played better. So the fact that you've had Aaron Donald that haven't been able to have the same effectiveness, and you have this offensive line that's played better than expected in Dallas, it's hard for me to think that the Cowboys here can't keep this game close at the minimum. Like, and we talk about lower scoring games. 43.5 is the over under between these two teams. You take the points if you can on lower scoring games, and you try to. That's a rule of thumb that you try to lean towards. It's not end all be all by any means, but still, Cowboys have a good defense. They have an offense that's been effective, and I can't say the same for the offense for the Rams. I mean, it's just battle the Coopers. Yes, G girl Cooper Kush for Prez says OG Kush. Yeah, absolutely.
The Mr. Coopers.
The Mr. Coopers.
Everyone's like, I don't understand that reference. That's because you're not old enough.
Milwaukee's does have a thing that I want to touch on. We talked about Game of Thrones. He could be that Cooper could be in Game of Thrones. Cooper Rush. A-Rod was in Game of Thrones. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was in the worst season though of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So I like the Cowboys to keep this one close. And honestly, Dallas plus 175 money line, maybe a little sprinkle, maybe plus 175.
Just a sprinkle.
Maybe a sprinkle that they might even come away with this win outright. Next up,
be huge.
Chargers at Browns. This is one of my bets of the week and one of your bets of the week, Scotty. We are both and you guys caution yourselves. Anytime Scotty and I bet on the same team, it's gotten better this season.
We're 1-0 this year, Chris.
We're 1-0 this year.
1-0 this year.
So it's trending in the right direction. Chargers coming in after traveling last week, traveling to Cleveland this week. They are going and playing a team that does one thing very, very well, and that's run the ball. There's one thing that the Chargers don't do very well, and that's defend the run. Scotty, we talked a lot about this going into the season, and we talked a lot about it, throughout the course. I mean, the Chargers are not great defending the run, and that's something that the Cleveland Browns do at a very good level. I mean, they have Kareem
Dameon
Hunt.
Pierce had a field day last week for Houston against this Chargers defense.
Dameon Pierce, I'm trying to trade for him in a couple leagues because of what he I'm hyped on Dameon Pierce because of what he did against the Chargers, and he's a Texans running back. Like, go figure. I'm excited about Dameon Pierce. That's how the Chargers do against running backs. But I digress. You have Kareem Hunt, you have you have Chubb in this lineup for the Browns, who are very effective at doing what they do, and that's run the ball. Which is why I think, and why my best bet is Browns +3. I think the wrong team is favored here, Scotty. I'm not a full believer of the Chargers yet. I think there's a lot of issues that I don't think are out there when it comes to Justin Herbert's health. I think he's still battling some things. They have injuries. They don't have Keenan Allen is still out. I mean, they're kind of bare bones on some of their wide receiver core. Bosa's out. Slater, you said OG says Slater's as well. Like, there's just a lot of holes. Traveling back-to-back weeks, going to a bad matchup where they can't defend the run against a good running team. I love the Browns, and I think the Browns should be favored outright in this matchup, Scotty. I got the Browns in this one +3, and I love it.
Yeah. This is one, like, a general rule for me when betting, Chris. And it's not an end all be all, but a good rule of thumb is when you have a team that didn't cover the week prior facing a team that did cover the week prior, you bet on the team that didn't. Right? So the Chargers covered against the Texans, although they almost blew that. They were up a ton, and then all of a sudden the Texans had a chance to take the lead in the fourth quarter. And the Browns obviously lost in Atlanta. They were favored by 1.5, but lost outright in a close game where they were probably the better team in that one. They just didn't play great. But listen, there's been two running backs that have been actually elite this year, Chris.
The only two.
It's Nick Chubb and it's Saquon Barkley. Everyone else has been mid, very mid at the running back position. I'll get into that more later, but Nick Chubb's been a monster behind this offensive line. They blocked it up great. I think they'll continue to do so. They'll run some play action with Brissett. Brissett's been okay. He hasn't been great, but he's been all right. The Chargers, you said back-to-back weeks on the road. A lot of health issues like they always seem to have with the Chargers. We still don't know, Herbert's still probably feeling the effects of that rib injury. It just feels like if the Chargers win this game, I don't see them winning by more than 3. Worst case scenario kind of feels like a push, Chris. I think this is a close game. I think this is almost a toss-up game, and in a toss-up game, and I can get 3 points with the home team, with their strength being the running game against a bad run defense, I'll take it. I'll take it all day.
And not only that, both of Cleveland's defensive ends could potentially come back. I mean, they might.
Yeah,
not.
I mean, Clowney. Yeah, Clowney and Garrett were out last week,
which
against Atlanta.
If they play, that's even a bonus here. I think this line even goes higher. Like this gets to.
I think it gets closer. I think it gets to 2.5 to. I actually saw it at 2.5 today, Chris. So we got it on the right side of things. Mr. Boofus Doofus, do you think the Browns are a Super Bowl team? No.
I mean,
no.
We love the Browns this week.
No.
But as far as Super Bowl team,
I don't even know if they're going to be improved once they get the assaulter back. Because he was awful in the preseason, and like it's hard when he can't even practice with the team. So like it's gonna be every other team's in rhythm and like this far into the season, and they're kind of starting over in like week 12 or 13. No, I don't think they are a Super Bowl threat. Maybe if they were in the NFC, because Chris and answer this for me in the chat, guys. I put this out on Twitter, but I think this is a super interesting question. Because I think most people so far would agree the Eagles have been the best team in the NFC, right? Yep. At least thus far. Who's the second best team in the NFC? It's like no one wants to take that trophy. No one wants to be the second best team in the NFC. They all just want to be kind of mid. I mean, who is it? The Packers are 3-1, but they just had to win in overtime at home against a third-string quarterback and the Patriots. Like, are they good? The Vikings have squeaked some games out and are 3-1. The Bucks are 2-2, losing at home. The Rams look like a disaster. The Niners 1 week lose 11-10 to the shitty Broncos and then beat the Rams. Like, who's the second best team in the NFC? No one wants it, Chris. No one wants it.
Sage, Vikings. Hey, Vikings, welcome in. First time chatter. Well, let's all give Sage a nice welcome here in the Action Lab. Are you a Vikings fan? Welcome in if that's who your team is. Appreciate you joining the channel. Mr. Boo, Milwaukee's like, he heard you say Packers and he was like, disagree. Like instantly. OG.
Do you disagree that they squeaked out a win on Sunday? I don't know how you disagree with that.
Thank you, Sage. Let's go. Where are you from and who's your team? Is it the Vikings? Second best NFC team, the Delaware Clams, says casually. By the way, Sage, you're going to like what one of my best bets is this week. So just stay tuned for that.
I can't possibly think who that could be on, Chris.
I don't know. Eagles, Packers, Bucks, says OG. Okay.
I mean, but the Packers, I don't think the Packers have looked like the second best team. I think at the end of the season, you could argue that. But like right now,
you know what?
Packers don't look very good.
You know what's interesting?
Milwaukee, they just don't.
You know what's interesting to think is that the AFC West was so hyped going into the season, and the Chargers haven't looked good. The Raiders haven't looked good. The Broncos haven't. I mean, the Chiefs are where we thought they would be, but. I mean, I wouldn't say that the AFC West is currently one of the best divisions in the NFL. I mean, they have talent, but at the same time, would you say that they're still the best division in the NFL?
I think by the end of the season, you might see it that I still think they'll get there. But right now, they certainly haven't. I know, no doubt about it.
NFC,
I think the Raiders
East
are better than the record. NFC East has a really good record, but I don't trust the Giants. The Commanders, I hate saying Commanders out loud, actually, are trash. And the Cowboys, I mean, the Eagles and Cowboys are probably, actually, based off of the rosters right now, better than I thought they'd be, no doubt. I mean, the Eagles are I thought the Eagles were going to be good. I picked the Eagles to go to the NFC Championship game in our preseason predictions, but I didn't expect them to look this good this early. Now, there's a thing called peaking too early, Chris. Like, we got a long way to go. You don't want to peak too early. You want to look good. You want to win games. but you want to be playing your best football in January and February.
That's why the Broncos are where they're at right now. They're peaking at they're going to peak at the right time.
they have. I mean, to get to that peak, that's a tall mountain to climb, Chris.
The Broncos
That's
are
a very tall mountain.
They're
climb.
taking that don't peak too early to an extreme, and they're going to be hitting that
they
peak
literally
mid-season.
we're going to start at the bottom of the ocean, Chris. We're going to make it that hard to hit our peak mountaintop. We're going to start in the bottom of the ocean.
It's called the Mariana Trench, and we're starting strong in that trench. 49ers look surprisingly good. 49ers, before the season started, had the best, I thought, one of the best rosters in the NFL. And Jimmy G just took a couple weeks to kind of get up to speed, but they're looking pretty good.
I would say right now I would rank them as the second best team in the NFC.
I would too. Troll time. AFC West is clearly the worst division of football, says Chair.
I don't even know how to answer that. Have you seen the AFC South?
That's true. Only team I am scared of is the 49ers, says Milwaukee. So that says something. I mean, you got nightmares and seeing ghosts from last season, Milwaukee's.
I would be scared of the Bucks as well, along with the Eagles. And maybe even the Cowboys. I mean, this is not a great Packers team. Doesn't mean that it can't be at the end of the year, but right now the Packers, especially offensively, are not very good.
Hoochie Kush, Broncos suck. Yeah, right now they're still in the Mariana Trench. They haven't peaked yet. Let's see. Yeah. Only team I'm scared of, Milwaukee's. We are 3-1, says Milwaukee's.
Yeah, that's a great record. But who have you? I mean, you won what was it, 14-12 against the Bucks when they had 8 receivers out. You won in overtime at home against the Patriots, who had a third string quarterback playing in the game. You got dominated by the Vikings. I mean, I'm just all right, but you beat the Bears. Neat. It's not 3-1's great. The record's great, and you'll win this week again because you're playing a Giants team that may not. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Giants in London. So, but I'm just saying the eye test does not pass so far for the Packers, despite their record.
Next up, we got another AFC. Speaking of AFC West, we got Raiders and Chiefs. Obviously, two teams that are kind of in different spots right now, and this is one of my other bets of the week. We will be reviewing all of our bets of the week after we're done here with these previews, by the way. So just stick around for that. We also have Coming In Hot. Again, my name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the Action Lab, your premier sports and entertainment talk show on Twitch. It's like talking sports with your friends in your family room, except everyone's all around the world. So Raiders.
Unless you're sharing sheets.
Yeah, unless you're sharing sheets, and then, there's that. Chairman of the board, code yellow for chairman. And I love the Chiefs in this one, Scotty. The Raiders haven't looked good. They don't look like a great team right now. Under Josh McDaniels, he hasn't exactly turned things around. They had to have a closed door meeting with the owner before the Broncos game, trying to get things straight. They didn't look good against the Broncos. Let's just put it that outside of that fumble with Melvin Gordon, that was almost the game that the Broncos pulled away from the Raiders, and the Raiders could have been 0-4, but obviously the Broncos did what the Broncos do, and the Raiders somehow made a couple plays. They had an amazing run game that they don't strike me as a team that I expected them to be. And where do we have their weakness? In the secondary, right? Which is why the Denver Broncos failed in their last game from a coaching standpoint of executing long plays downfield. When they did execute long plays downfield, they were successful. When they didn't, they weren't taking advantage of a clear advantage in that game. Guess who can throw the ball downfield, Scotty? It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will throw the ball all over this Raiders secondary, left and right. I cannot wait to see this air show that they're going to be giving up because, first of all, if you get pressure on him, on Patrick Mahomes, he's very accurate. He can be a very good quarterback throwing the ball under pressure. So, they have a couple pass rushers in Las Vegas that can get it done. However, I just think Mahomes is just going to torch this secondary. And I think that this game is going to be easily a 10-point game plus. I got Chiefs as -7, one of my best bets of the week here at Kansas City. I think they take this one, and I think it's pretty clear on this.
Yeah, this is the Monday night game, so hopefully it'll be a good contest. Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, Derek Carr looks so evil. Why did you choose that photo?" I'm just trying to let you guys know that Derek Carr is in fact a psychopath. There's no doubt in my mind.
Code yellow.
Code yellow first. Code yellow tonight. We last a long time. Spam code yellow in the chat as Chris takes a quick break here, guys, as I dive into this one. Yeah, Derek Carr, I think, is an actual psychopath. That's why I chose this photo. This photo exists. I didn't doctor it, so he only has himself to blame. The Mahomes photo I chose because I wanted to signify this was against the Bucs last week. He completed this pass for a first down. That, as he's getting thrown to the ground, he completes that to Juju for a first down. That's the Mahomes we're talking about. As Chris talked about in this one, listen, I mean, the Chiefs dominated the Raiders. The Raiders were a playoff team last year. The Raiders lost to the Chiefs 41-14 and 48-9 in the two games last year. It was an absolute mismatch. I know it's a new coaching staff with the Raiders, but I don't know if it's an improved coaching staff. I'm on the Chiefs as well, but it's in a teaser. So I teased the Chiefs down to 6 points to -1. So essentially they just need to win this one. And I teased them with the Bucs down to -2.5 against the Falcons at home. I think the two teams that played on Sunday Night Football, Chiefs and Bucs, roll this week. I think they certainly win, if nothing else. And so that's one of my bets of the week is a teaser, Chiefs -1. Along with the Bucs -2.5, combine those two, and I like that bet a lot. But yeah, I think the Chiefs certainly should win this game, and very well could win it going away.
Over under 51.5, so there will be some points scored in this one, I think. But yeah, I think there's just it's hard for me to go against what Patrick Mahomes can do to this Raiders team. That, I mean, running the ball is what seems to be the strength is for, which is shocking.
You know who has the best rush defense in the NFL, Chris?
Is it your
through 4 weeks?
Is it your Kansas City Chiefs?
It's my Kansas City Chiefs, which is equally shocking.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the last 2 weeks and 3 weeks on one of the guys, we don't have our best linebacker with Willie Gay, who's suspended, and our best cover corner, Trent McDuffie, who's a rookie who dominated week 1, has been out and hasn't played since. Like, this defense is going to get better for the Chiefs. And Sky Moore is eventually going to be a factor in offense. And Milwaukee put it in here. Number 10 on the Chiefs is going to be a stud. That kid needs playing time. He's talking about Isaiah Pacheco, the 7th round pick, running back out of Rutgers.
He's a stud.
He shows a lot of potential. He just needs to figure out a few things. But once he does, Chris, I talked about it. He was the fastest running back at the combine. He weighs over 215 pounds while running a 4.37.
He can catch the ball.
Catch the ball out of the backfield. He can do it all. He's going to be filthy.
By the way, you know what I was thinking about when I took my code yellow? We should have Reckoning do...
the world wants to know at what you were thinking about while you were taking a code yellow, Chris.
I mean, it's always a thing. That
what were you doing? What were you thinking about while you were peeing?
We should have some predictions on who takes the first code yellow of each show.
It's usually me.
It's usually you, but like some days I hydrate a little bit more. Reckoning, new segment, piss thoughts. Yeah, we could do that, Reckoning, and we could do like a whole long thing. Who can?
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that as we drink more and then get more code yellows.
To be fair, sometimes I take a code yellow because I'm just out of a drink, Chris.
True.
It's like a fake code yellow because I just need to go get myself a drink. Kind of like right now, actually.
A new segment, says Cuban. Potty talk with Chris. Maybe I take the mic into the bathroom and I just have a conversation with you guys and you guys just can't see me on camera.
I will.
That's for sure.
I will mute that. I will mute that one.
That's for sure a TOS violation. 100%.
I'm going to do a fake code yellow, Chris.
A fake code yellow.
I don't know why I'm talking into my headphones, by the way.
I was going to say it. I was like,
how does this work?
You're doing great. This is exactly how headphones work. Gosh, this is my co-host. This is it. This is what I deal with every single week.
Bruh.
I mean, I don't know. But You gotta love him though, right? You gotta love him.
My man.
So we better hear the flush and hand washing if you're going that far, says Casual. Yeah, no, we'll make sure we're staying sanitary, 100%. Fake code yellow in the chat. Spam it. Let's go. All right, next up, let's get going. Oh, here we go. We got G Girls Giants against Milwaukee's Packers. This one is gonna be, I think, a better game than what people are anticipating. I mean, the Giants are playing decent football, right? The Giants are actually surprising people with what they've done. Saquon's still healthy, so you can bank on him to continue playing well, which is I'm super happy for Saquon. He deserves to be back here playing and not having to worry about injuries. But overall, I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think the Packers are the better team in this matchup, if I'm going to be, honest. I love what, the Giants have achieved. 3-1 right now. 3-1 against the spread, by the way. And the Packers are also 3-1. So this will be in London, so keep that in mind. This will be the first game in London of 2 winning teams, which is not normally a thing that we're, super in tune with. Like, that doesn't happen. So we've already had a fun game in London. We're setting another fun game here with 2 winning teams. Saquon is the entire offense, says G Girl. It's true, but I mean, he can get it done though. And Daniel Jones has been able to get it done on his feet in recent weeks, but Saquon is definitely the catalyst of this entire offense, and he is a monster. He is a beast. Now, the Packers, I think that they're one of the better teams. We talked about the second best team in the NFC. Packers are trying, I don't know. They can be in that conversation for sure. They're 3-1. Still have some holes and things that they need to work out, but I think this is too big of a spread for me to take the Packers -8. This is some people, and I actually, the betting sets that I look at, they were like, oh, the Packers should be 10-point favorites. I'm like, I probably wouldn't go. Even 8 seems a lot to me against the Giants team who can control the ball, keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. And I just think that I think the Packers win this game. I just think it's a closer game than what people think. So, hey, the talking headphone is back.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know if you knew this and mentioned, but you can just talk into headphones and it works real good.
Super effective.
So catching up with the chat. Of course, Milwaukee says this game's not going to be close, but he did say I like the defensive player of the year pick. Yeah, I thought I always put Rodgers out there, so I threw out Rashawn Gary, who has been a monster on the defensive side of the ball for the Packers, no doubt. I wouldn't label him defensive player of the year. Of course, that's Micah Parsons right now for me in Dallas, but Rashawn Gary, which I think at the time a lot of Packers fans didn't love that draft pick in the first round out of Michigan, and it took him some time. He was very raw, but very like an athletic freak, and now he's figured it out, and he's elite. But Chris, I agree. I think if I was to bet, and this isn't one of my bets of the week, but if I was to pick a side here, I'd take the Giants +8. I think we talk about mismatches on the ground. The Patriots with an average at best running game and a third string quarterback were able to run down the Packers' throats last week. No one was pretending they were going to throw it very often, and they were able to do outside zone runs all the time. The tackling for the Packers on defense has been a problem going back to last year. And now you have Saquon Barkley, who's been, the best running back in the game thus far through 4 weeks. An absolute monster, and the guy we all knew he was. He's the prince who was promised, Chris, or the king who was promised, whatever that saying is in Game of Thrones. And he's balling out. So it's a mismatch. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be for the Giants necessarily, but maybe it doesn't matter because they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit against this Packers defense that struggles in the run game. They're great against the pass. They struggle against the run. And I just don't know that the Packers offense is, do you think Aaron Rodgers is happy that he has to go to London for a game? I bet he's furious. I bet he just hates his life right now that he has to travel to play a game in London. I like at his age and his arrogance, he's just like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to prep for this one that much. We could see a surprise here, Chris. I think that I like the Packers actually. I didn't put them in a teaser, but I would tease down the Packers to like -2 because I think they'll win the game.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee says I'll take that bet. Put the bet in. We already have a couple bets with you, Milwaukee. So hey, throw it in there. If you like Packers -8, you think they're going to blow them out? Hey, we can get in on some of that action. Well, throw it in the Discord. We have a Discord, guys. If you haven't joined our Discord, you can make bets against us in the Discord and throw your wager out there. We'll accept it and we'll have some fun. If we want to. We can change it up a little bit. We'll do. I'm excited. I want to get some weekly action. Let's do that. That would be so much fun.
He said the Patriots didn't do shit with 6 or 7 offensive linemen last week, and I'm going to look into that real quick. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they ran for, as I'm looking it up real quick, they ran for 167 yards in the game. So let's not pretend they didn't do shit on the ground. And that's with like Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson or whatever the hell his name is. Like those are like just, I don't even know if I'd call those dudes mid. They're whatever. And this is Saquon. Okay.
Yeah, and Diacola likes the Packers as well. Yeah, Packers are a home team, even though they're in London, by the way.
They're in London, Diacola, so it's not exactly at home.
Yeah.
It's unless
but they're
London
labeled
is the new home for
they're
the Packers.
labeled the home team.
Correct.
So there's that. I feel like there's more Packers. Packers maybe are. Do you think the Packers are bigger in London, or do you think the Giants are? I mean, Giants are in a bigger city.
I think Packers. I think just because they've been better and more known with their quarterback play and stuff like that. But it'd be interesting. I don't ever get a feel for like, I feel like most people in London that like go to these games aren't necessarily a fan of one or the other teams. They're more just like, I want to go to an NFL game. So they're not necessarily, and then it turns into, if you're just at the game and the game's close, you start cheering for the underdog. That's just like human nature, Chris. If you don't have a side and all of a sudden it's close late, you kind of want the underdog. You start cheering for the underdog, who's the Giants here. So I don't think it's going to be a home field advantage for the Packers necessarily.
America's team, says Milwaukee's best. The Packers are America's team.
Cuban, A-Rod is a citizen of Earth. That's true. It's true. He is, he doesn't even exist in any country. He just is of Earth as he takes ayahuasca, which is not a drug, by the way, Chris. Not a drug. And it's just a hallucinogen that really fucks you up, but it's not a drug.
Scotty, we talked about Buffalo. We talked about, go and get wings. We talked about the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
What if we did an ayahuasca stream? You and I traveled, and we go sit in a hut, and we just do some ayahuasca.
I ain't doing ayahuasca, man.
I don't even know.
My brother's done ayahuasca. I could ask him about it more.
Ask him about it, yeah.
He's done ayahuasca on he's gone to the mountains and done retreats where you he's done the whole Aaron Rodgers thing.
That's legal? You could do ayahuasca? It's like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I think so.
And then we'll come back with a bunch of the pyramid tattoos on our forearms, too. Next up, we have Eagles at Cardinals. Two teams, super dynamic offenses. Well, at least one of them right now. We got the Cardinals trying to play catch up with their dynamic offense after, starting out super slow. Call of Duty weekend, double XP weekend is over. We got Kyler Murray who's trying to wake up, and he did wake up last week, trying for the most part.
Yeah, I think it was more that Baker was just bad.
Or Baker just is one of the worst running back or quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's just it just doesn't get better for Baker. So we were really wrong on Baker. We don't say this very often. We were both saying that Baker could be the best quarterback in this division moving forward once Brady retires. And all of a sudden we're just like, well, That was wrong. But he's looking bad. But the Cardinals took advantage. It was one of my best bets of the week last week. They cashed in. They're playing in Arizona. The Eagles traveling to Arizona for this one. Eagles are favored by 5 in this contest. Now, off the initial top, the Eagles, for me, this is an interesting one. So they're traveling to Arizona. So this could be one of their more challenging away games that they've had, given the fact that they are playing a better team in the NFC that is on the upswing. We think they're on the upswing. Will they be able to compete at a high level here? This isn't one of my best bets of the week. Initially, I like the Cardinals getting 5 at home. I didn't bet it because I'm terrified of that bet, but I think this might be a little bit closer game too. The Eagles are the best team. They're undefeated here, coming in, and the Battle of the Birds. I think Philly, I don't know, man. I don't know if, I think there's going to be some bounce back from Arizona moving forward. And I'm kind of hesitant to take a side here. Maybe the Eagles squeak out a close one, but I think maybe there's a backdoor cover for the Cardinals to cover 5 in this one. When will Scotty cuss next in the show? Says that's the new prediction here. Within 5 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, 15 to 45, or he won't. Ooh, Scotty.
If anyone wants to throw a little money my way on the side, I could influence
I was going to
this
say,
one.
these are some... There you go.
With great power comes great responsibility, or money, potentially. So let me know if you want me to where you're betting, and I could maybe influence that a little bit. This game, Chris, first of all, this is my favorite Kyler Murray picture ever. He just looks so little. Look at him.
He's just a little guy.
He looks like he's in kindergarten, and he's sitting crisscross applesauce, Chris. He's sitting crisscross applesauce. And speaking of foods, you were like, oh, they're trying to play ketchup, and I'm like, I bet that's his favorite dip because he's a child. He loves ketchup with his chicken nuggets. He does. He's so adorable while playing Call of Duty. Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals are any good at all. I know they're 2-2 now, but they beat the Panthers, who were awful last week, and they really shouldn't have beat the Raiders a couple weeks ago. So lost to the Rams that don't look that good, and got blown out by the Chiefs week 1. So I am not high on the Cardinals. I think they could, if there is an uptick, and I think there will be an uptick, I think it revolves around DeAndre Hopkins, and that starts week 7. He's out 6 weeks, so they got a couple more weeks without DeAndre. That offense last year was a lot more dynamic with DeAndre Hopkins in a lineup, obviously adding an elite wide receiver to go with Hollywood Brown, who they're throwing the ball to almost every play. Hollywood Brown's almost turning into a Cooper Kupp with how often he gets the ball out in Arizona. I think Philly, the only way Philly doesn't cover 5 here is if they just overlook it, and they could overlook this game. They could be feeling great. They're the only undefeated team left in the league, Chris. They have the Cowboys on the horizon, a big divisional matchup against a team at that's your team you got to beat, right? That's your team. So you might be looking ahead. You might not be focused on this matchup overly, thinking, oh, we can take care of this Cardinals team that's kind of looked like trash for 4 weeks. So that's the scenario where I can see the Cardinals keeping this close. If the Eagles were focused on this matchup, they should win this by double digits, no doubt. They're the far better team. Better team.
I agree. And that is one of the other reasons, and you said it, I just think that you have a division matchup with the Eagles in Dallas, I believe, next week. So could this be a trap game where you overlook your opponent?
For sure.
I think that this could be. And then, here's the thing. Kyler Murray comes out of nowhere and just plays like catch up in these games. We talk about catch up a lot. All of a sudden, we're going to get a sponsorship from Heinz all of a sudden, like your boy Mahomes, right?
I do prefer Heinz. I think he's on the Hunt side.
Hunt. Oh, yeah. Because I
do like Heinz actually better, but Mahomes is on the Hunt's catch-up side.
I think that this could be a backdoor cover by the Cardinals. But yeah, I think this will be a fun matchup to watch. So we got a bet. Milwaukee, bet Packers -8. Scotty pours the bomb on a McNugget until I say stop and then eats it versus how many subs? How many subs is that worth for you, Scotty?
Until you say stop?
That's so.
I mean, that's the one issue I have with it, because until you say stop, I'm gonna have to douse that thing. That's gonna equal like 40 subs. Like, I'm not playing around. But we could, if you just say like I dab it like 3 or 4 dabs, we could lower that down a little bit to maybe like 15 subs.
And you know what, Scotty? I would do it with you.
Not for 15. That's going to be extra.
I actually want to figure out how to find a one-chip challenge and do that. But neither of them belong on steak, though. Pour it on there, just no dabs.
No dab. I mean, by dabs, like I'm not talking like light dabs, but I'm not going to douse the thing. I'm not going to just drench it into bomb.
Well,
okay. I have a family to think about.
Let's negotiate.
Right?
Let's negotiate.
They want
in the
me
Discord.
to see another day.
We'll negotiate in the Discord, Milwaukee's, but I kind of like the bet. We got to figure out some of the mechanics of it, though.
Although we will win that bet.
How about you dunk a nugget in the bomb? Well,
like cookies and milk. It's a long process of doing a lot of this to get where you can even dunk it.
Don't clip this, guys. Don't clip that.
I'm pouring out the bomb sauce, Chris, obviously, into a bowl to dunk.
I like it, Reckoning.
I don't know how. I can't be any more clear there, Chris.
Yeah. No worries. Steelers at the Bills. All right, here we go. Steelers at the Bills. This is one of my best bets of the week, and it's not a bet you might think. I haven't done a lot of these this year. But Steelers and Bills. Bills are favored by 14, which is a massive spread here. You have some action on this one too. Scotty, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, Chris, I love the Steelers plus 14. Give me the Steelers plus 14 all day. First of all, any spread like this, you either bet on the underdog or you don't bet at all. The Steelers have not been 14-point underdogs, Chris, since going back to like 1970.
It's crazy.
And we're talking about, like, I think they're better off. I know I'm not high on Small Hands Pickett, but I think they're better off with him than Trubisky. Okay? The Bills, talking about situations, you bet on situations. The Bills have come off 2 absolutely grueling games against Miami 2 weeks ago in the hot sun, came back, played against Baltimore on the road last week, lost, blew a 17, or no, I'm sorry, they came back from a 17-point lead and won, but had to do a ton to do that. Like, this is just a game where, like, they're 14-point favorites. I don't see them getting that high for it. I think they feel like this is finally, like, we can breathe a little bit. We can relax. Like, we'll win this game. Josh Allen doesn't feel like I got to put my body on the line and run for first down on, 4th and 2. We could just chill a little bit. I love Pittsburgh. This is my favorite bet of the week, Chris. Favorite bet of the week, Steelers plus 14. I feel like worst case scenario, this is a push. I think the Steelers defense is able to make some plays. And the Bills, quite frankly, Chris, let's look at the Bills through 4 weeks. Don't get me wrong, they're a very good football team. They've played 1.5 or maybe 2 good full football games, but they were separated. The first half against the Rams was kind of and then they went off in the second half, played great. Week 2 against the Titans, they were absolutely phenomenal all game, no doubt about it, credit. And then week 3 against the Dolphins, and then week 4 against the Ravens, all right, they were good for the first half and garbage for they were garbage for the first half, great for the second half. So this isn't a team that, like, everyone wants to hype this team up as the best that we've ever seen. They're very, very good, but they're not great right now, Chris. They're not great. They could easily be 2-2. They, easily could have lost last week against the Ravens. And then we're looking at this team, and are they 14-point favorites? I don't think so. I I feel good about this one. I love this one. You're on the over/under, right, Chris?
I'm on the over/under, and I love the under in this one. Now, I do think that this could be a closer game. I if I was leaning anything, I would lean Steelers on this one. I didn't bet that, but I do like the under because I don't know if the Steelers are going to score more than. I don't know. I don't see the Steelers scoring a ton of points here. So, and I don't know if the Bills, I think this is a get in and get out for game for the Bills. This is like hey, we come in, we'll run conservative gameplay. Maybe they get a nice lead early on, maybe 14 points, 17 points, whatever. And then maybe try to coast and I think run the ball a ton, just let things go. And then that's where the Steelers can backdoor cover the 14. But I still don't think that, the Steelers can really move the ball against the Bills defense right here. I think that the pressure from defensive line, Von Miller and company will be, disrupting things for the Steelers. And I don't think the Bills are going to just, they have a lot to look forward to with some other games down the stretch. I think this is a game where they're just trying to get in, get a win, and get out. And I think that they maybe take the foot off the gas pedal in this and just try to get into the next week. With that
Rec does make a good point. There's a lot of injury concerns with the Steelers this week, defensively especially. Minka, Terrell Emmons, Witherspoon, even Cam Hayward, all limited or not practicing this far. So there's the concern. But again, I just don't think this is a good spot for the Bills. And when it's not a good spot and you're favored by 14, you give me 2 touchdowns, I love it. Broncos, I don't think I've ever seen a minus 14 for an NFL game. No, there's actually been
8. There's been some 17.
There's been some in the 20s, Chris. Low 20s.
It's rare.
Patriots back in like 2007 when they were dominant, and then actually your Peyton Manning led Broncos were 22 somewhere around there point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars one year. And I don't think they quite covered that. I think they were a little short of it, but there's definitely been some 20 plus, but 14's high, but it happens. I just don't think the Steelers are a team that should be a 14-point underdog against a team that is really, really good. And I think at the end of the season, I think them and the Chiefs right now have separated themselves from the rest of the league. But at the same time, they've shown moments in halves and full games where they're not great. They're inconsistent right now.
Yeah. And again, I just think the Bills, they get a nice two possession game, and I think they slow down the ball and start running the ball and just kind of manage the game from that standpoint. So I think this is an under candidate. I think I got it at 47.5, I think. So I like it there. All right, so there we go. Those are our games that we previewed. If we missed a game, if you guys are interested in any other games, let us know and we will touch on those. Guys, we have a big weekend in week 5 for the NFL. So make sure you guys join our Discord, talk some NFL with us all through Sunday. We are not live. There's a lot of other streamers that do a lot of cool things. G Girls Live and Spees and you name it. Everyone's live on Sunday, but we are not live during the day. So if you guys want to tune in and hang out with us in the Discord, !Discord in the chat, and you will be able to join our conversations with all of you guys in the chat. All of you guys are popping in all the time and posting some fun things. So there you go. Devil Doc, thank you so much for posting that in the Discord. And we appreciate all of you guys being a part of it. So let's go into our best bets.
Rec threw out in the chat Highsmith for Defensive Player of the Year, which is fine outside of, weren't you hyping Minka as Defensive Player of the Year just on Sunday in our chat? Do you guys have all the Defensive Player of the Years? I don't know. Maybe you do. Oh, runner up. You have the number 1 and number 2 top defensive players. Got it. My bad. That's my fault. You guys have the 2 best defensive players, and then you'll get TJ Watt back eventually, and you'll have the 3 best defensive players in the league on your team. Got it.
Grandview and Arapahoe playing tomorrow. Are they 2 good teams? I don't even know. I can't tell you. Local high school teams.
My wife went to Arapahoe.
And
so
Grandview
so did yours.
And Grandview was a rival for me in high school. So I hope Grandview gets just trashed. I hope they just get blown out.
Why would you wish that on high school kids, Chris?
Because I still have affinity for my Eagle Crest Raptors. You know what I'm saying? It's part of it.
Devil Dog. Highsmith's on pace for 23.5 sacks. I love the on pace for after 4 weeks. It's my favorite.
So here we go. There's only one game that we didn't cover here, Scotty. So obviously I'll go over my picks and then you can touch on yours here in a second. So we both have Cleveland +3. We love that matchup against the Chargers in this week 5 game here in Cleveland.
You didn't change one of mine, but we'll get into that.
Did I?
You have Tennessee +3.5, which was a bet for me last week.
Oh, my bad.
And I have the Steel. I got Pittsburgh +14, which we talked about.
My bad. Pittsburgh +14. So yeah,
all good.
Just envision that. Minnesota -7, KC to win by 7 as well, and Pittsburgh Buffalo under 47.5. You have Denver team total under 23.5. Cleveland +3 along with me. You got Pittsburgh +14 and a teaser. So you tease down 2 games by 6 points to make Tampa Bay only needing to win by 3 and Kansas City just needing to win just pretty much in general by 1, but
2. Sure.
Good night, good night, boys. Go Pack. We shall talk in Discord. Thank you, Milwaukee's, for being here.
Thanks, Milwaukee.
We love you, brother, and we'll get that bet going. We have coming in hot here shortly, so if you guys are still hanging around, do not go anywhere. We want to make sure you guys join in on Scotty's rant. He's already had 2 or 3 rants today. We're going to get one more in before the night is done. But go ahead, guys. If you guys, have any questions on these games, anything else, throw them in the chat. We want to keep the conversation rolling.
Joker was asking, and you bet on it. So you want to touch on that Minnesota game real quick?
Yeah.
And why you like Minnesota -7?
Slider crystals call their food sliders. They slide in, then slide right out.
There you go. Crystals call their food sliders.
We don't have crystals out here.
We don't.
I don't know crystals.
So yeah, Minnesota is the only other game. I forgot we didn't cover the Minnesota game. I think we talked a little bit about Minnesota early on because we were saying Vikings. Whatchamacallit was a big Vikings fan in the chat. Sage was a Vikings fan, so maybe that's why.
And we got Joker, of course, always,
and Joker. Joker's always here as well. But Vikings, they have a quick turnaround. Winning in London last week, right? Travel, the in and out travel schedule will help them, I think. Over the body clock. You gain time and everything else. I think that's helpful, but I mean, they get to face a brutal Bears passing game that can't protect Justin Fields, right? Their 23.9% sack rate is by far the worst in the league, which I think the Vikings can get pressure on the quarterback in this game. Bears defense also can't stop the run, which makes this a tough get back game when it comes to, defending against a couple really good running backs that the Minnesota Vikings have. I think that the Vikings can control this game from start to finish. I think they win this game. I think that I have this game around a 10-point game, but the Bears, I don't think are very good. I don't think they're good enough to be in this one. I mean, for me, I just think this is a double-digit game for me, for Minnesota. I think they back-to-back weeks. This is an early game for Kirk Cousins, so it just lines up to feel really good for the Minnesota to win this one by at least 10.
I see where you're at. I think the Bears are trash. I think the Minnesota absolutely should win this game by more than 7. My concern is coming back from London but I think that's a less concern than Minnesota just plays one-score games, Chris. That's just what they do. It seems like every year they're in close games regardless of who they're playing. And it's exhausting if you're a fan, I'm sure. And so I'm like, when they're a 7-point favorite, I just have a hard time betting on them, just because while they should dominate the Bears on Sunday, for whatever reason, they play down to competition at times.
Yeah. I mean, I see that point too. I love
but
Minnesota.
I agree with you. You can't bet on the Bears here. If you're taking a side, it's the Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard for me to go against. And especially, you're in Minnesota. That's a great home field advantage. I love Minnesota here. So there you go. 10-6 and 9-7 on the season so far. We're both in the positive. We're going to keep trying to improve on that. And maybe we should do, Scotty, I was thinking about it. Maybe we should do something. If we have a perfect week, if you have a perfect week, I have a perfect week, we both have perfect weeks. Maybe we do something for the community. Maybe we do something for the chat or something. Maybe we
did do something for community, Chris, because they followed our bets and won a lot of money. I'm assuming that's what we did for the community.
True, but maybe we hook them up with something. Maybe we have some fun and give out some like VIPs or I don't know. We do something, but we'll take care of you guys. Either way, we'll figure out some ideas and get you guys on board with our bets of the week. Vikings got the NFC on lock. Trust. We actually, Sage, we have the Vikings as winning that division.
We both preseason.
We both
picked
preseason.
The Vikings to win the North.
Now they're
Kings of the North.
The Kings of the North, the Vikings. Now we're a little like we thought they would be a little stronger, in a couple of these matchups, but I'm not too worried about them. I think they'll be in a good shape moving forward, and I do think that they're a very talented team. Yeah,
lost to the Eagles, everyone's lost to the Eagles this year, Chris.
There hasn't been a team to beat the Eagles yet, so there's that. Yeah. Coming in hot, Scotty. Don't forget to speak loud into the headphones.
Yeah, I'll even turn off my mic and just use my headphones for that one, guys.
Vikings. You forgot that Cousins is the QB, says Diacola. No, I think Cousins is fine as long as he's not in prime time. We're good.
It's the 11 early start.
Bonk bonk, says Reckoning. The double doink.
The double doink. Cuban Benny Crystals, the adult garment store. So we do have a Crystals out here. They don't sell sliders, or maybe they do. I've just never been in the store. So
yeah,
Cuban, do they sell sliders there?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen, not that I've been in a Crystals, but I don't think they sell sliders there. Just throwing that out there as a hunch.
Oh, they have sliders, is what Cuban says. I'm trying to think of where Crystals is. The only place I can think of is off of like Santa Fe. Is that a Crystals?
Santa Fe is the only one that I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good old Crystals. But all right, so there you go. Those are our bets of the week. Those are our week 5 previews. Real quick, I want to touch on one more thing before we get to the coming in hot, which this is Scotty's got his fired up about one subject, but we want to make sure you guys, if we can get one more spam in the chat for Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a partner of ours that we like to, we're always trying to like get you guys to jump in with us. ! Thrive. Thank you for that, Reckoning. We partnered with them. They are giving us some sweet deals here to join in. You click on the link at promo code Action Lab. You deposit up to $100 and you will get matched with that promo code. So if you guys love betting on props, over-unders for quarterbacks and running backs and receivers and all those different things, we will make sure that you guys have a place to play, and that is Thrive. So I'm going to pull this up here. Thrive, here's our Thrive promo. And pretty much how you do is you go in and you decide, and this could be basketball, this could be NFL, it could be, they have a lot of different sports that you can bet on. I did a contest a while back here. I'll pull up my contest. I'll show you exactly what we did here. I did one last it was the Rams and Niners game on Monday night. Let me pull this up, Scotty, and yeah, just explain a little bit more on what you can expect with Thrive. You've done a couple contests.
Yeah, I mean it's very easy. It's over unders. They set a number on players or whatever, and you pick. Do you think they're going to get over that yardage amount or whatever it may be in football? Or you can bet on golf. You can bet on basketball, like rebounds or assists or points or whatever it may be. But here's the thing, guys. as Chris talked about, you can get matched up to $100. So here's what you do. You go in, you deposit $100 with the promo code Action Lab. You get matched an extra $100. Play around with that extra $100. It's free money. It's free money. If you lose that 100, keep that 100 that you put it in and just withdraw it. And you've lost. Check math, Chris, because math is real. Science is not. You've lost $0.
Zero.
But you have the potential to win betting with that $100 of free money. So it's literally a can't lose proposition if you are able to maintain yourself and keep that $100 you put in initially and only play with that additional 100. If you lose it, you lose it, but you could win a lot and you could play and have fun, and it's entertaining and fun. And quite frankly, Chris, they set some really bad lines there where it's pretty manageable to win.
Well, and for this example, like I went on and I made these bets later on closer to game time, and some of these lines, like the Matthew Stafford over 275 passing yards, I mean, this dropped by like 15 points by the time I made this bet. So, it's just, you can take those trends, and here, this one, I put in $20. I only missed 2 on this one, and I walked away with 50. So, this is the way you can do it. George Kittle, I missed on George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo. I didn't think they were going to have big, I thought Kittle was going to have a bigger game. But overall, I had the unders on Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Darrell Henderson on his rush total, everything. You can bet on all these things, and, you get compared to all the other people in your lobby, and first place wins $5,000. I mean, that's a big, boost there. So, guys, you can have a lot of fun with this. Join in. They're a great partner for us. We love Thrive Fantasy. We want to make sure you guys have a fun way to maybe get in on winning some money and having fun, watching some sports. So the more you guys join in, the more we can get contests specifically for Action Lab put in place for us, so we can compete against each other, which is a lot of fun too. We've done that a couple times, and it's been great. So join in on the contest. Again, promo code Action Lab when you click on that link, and we will be, looking out for you guys to sign up, and we'll have a lot of fun playing with you guys on Thrive. So there you go. All right, Scotty. With that being said, guys, it is time. It's that time of night. Time to get us out of here. And there's only one way to get us out of here, and that's Scotty A. Smith's coming in hot. Now, Scotty, you have some thoughts on a specific position in the NFL, and we've seen this fantasy football. There's one position that hasn't exactly produced the way a lot of people expected, and it's across the board. There's only a handful of running backs that have really stood out this year. But let's look at the bigger picture here. Scotty, you have some things to say. I can't wait to hear what you got here. Let's get it. Scotty A. Smith coming in hot.
All right, guys. So I kind of touched on this briefly on Sunday if you were with us, but I'm going to dive into why you should never, ever, 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 ever want your team to spend money at the running back position. It is the most idiotic decision your franchise could ever make. Running backs eventually, by the time, it's kind of like baseball. I talked about it in baseball. By the time you're paying them, they're already washed. All right. Look at these dudes here. That's 4 of the top 5 running backs. Right now, the top 5 running backs in salary in the league. McCaffrey is 1. Kamara is 2. Zeke is 3. Dalvin Cook 4. And Derrick Henry 5. Okay, those are the top 5 paid running backs in the league. How are those teams doing? Okay, the Vikings are the only team with a winning record in those 5. And I'm not sure you would correlate their winning record to Dalvin Cook. He's been okay. But guess how many of these 5 top running backs are top 10 in rushing yards this year? 0. 0 of these guys are top 10 in the league in rushing yards. All right, let's jump into average yards per rush, because they just, of course, just not getting the ball enough. No, the top average per rush is McCaffrey at 4.7. He ranks 19th. No one else is in the top 25 of these 5 guys. No one else is averaging per rush in the top 25 of the league right now. And you're paying these dudes. You can't pay these dudes. Not to mention, Dalvin Cook, been a little beat up. Alvin Kamara already missed games. We know the history with Christian McCaffrey. Zeke, some people argue, isn't the best running back on his roster. And Derrick Henry is missed half of last year. You're paying a position that is so reliant on the offensive line and what's happening there. Let's look at Jonathan Taylor. Is not one of the top running backs paid wise in the league because he's a rookie running back. And he was the surefire after last year. He dominated the league. He was a surefire, and he's been mediocre at best this year. At best, he has not been good. The Colts have been a dumpster fire. That offense has been a dumpster fire. You don't win in the NFL at the running back position. You just don't. The moment your running back gets to free agency, you should say, see you later. I'll draft a 5th rounder who will be just fine. And everyone's like, yeah, but these guys could pass catch. McCaffrey has 19 catches for 138 yards. Kamara, 5 catches, 19 yards. Elliott, 5 catches, 27 yards. Cook, 9 catches, 47 yards. And Henry, 8 catches, 88 yards. That's on the season. Those 4 guys outside of McCaffrey don't average 25 receiving yards a game. And none of them, including McCaffrey, are in the top 50 in receiving yards in the NFL. Like these guys are kind of just dudes. And the most productive back has been McCaffrey, and they might be the worst team of the 5. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry to say this, but running backs don't matter in the NFL. And maybe that's putting it blunt, and that's too aggressive. But you don't pay running backs. You shouldn't pay running backs. The moment you're paying high money to a running back, like look at the Cowboys. They had to sacrifice so much this offseason. They had to trade Amari Cooper. They lost out on Randy Gregory, although they thought they had him, because they're paying Zeke crazy money. Crazy money. Zeke is averaging 3.8 yards per carry. Okay? He's 36th in the league in average yards per carry. 3.8. That's terrible. That's a terrible number. Oh, but at least he has 5 catches for 27 yards. Which, by the way, he had 32 yards receiving in one of the 4 games. So in the other 3, he has negative 5 yards receiving in the other 3 games combined. It's just stupid. How do people not see this? And everyone's like, Jonathan Taylor's the Broncos are going to win on Thursday because Jonathan Taylor's out. It doesn't matter. Your offensive line is what matters. Yes, if your offensive line is great, you want a running back that can make guy miss on the second level. But it really doesn't matter until you get to the second level or if you have vision in the first level. But it's inconsequential because the passing game is what wins. Defense and pressure from the edges and having elite corners and secondary is what wins. Running plays are just to pause the defense for a second. Make them not sell out on pass rush. That's literally what running is in the NFL these days. Tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me I'm lying. But to pay the running back position anything more than like 6 to 7 million a year, which is a low number in the NFL, to me is wildly inappropriate and crazy because they don't produce, they get hurt, they're not the same player, and they're not difference makers. They're just not. You can love them on your fantasy team, although you hate all the high fantasy draft picks you took at running back this year because they've all been garbage. Like the guys at the top are like Cordell Patterson, who's going to be hurt this week as well. But it doesn't, like, everyone gets hurt at running back. Stop spending money at running back GMs. Don't let them hold leverage over you. If they want to leave, let them leave. You're better off. You'll get a draft pick. When they get high money somewhere else, you'll get a 3rd round comp pick the next year. And I guarantee you could pick a running back right then with that pick that saves you money and will be just as productive. 9 times out of 10. If not more. SCG. Nick Chubb ain't garbage. He's number 1. Yeah, there's a reason I only went to the top 5. He's number 6, but I don't want to dilute this. So stop paying your running backs. Learn a lesson or two, GMs, from me, Scotty A. Smith.
Let's go. Yeah, no, it's true. The running back position has been trending downwards for a while now. I mean, this it's a throwing league. Look at this. All right, so I'm throwing this up on my fantasy thing here, and this is according to Yahoo, right? So preseason rank currently fantasy points. If we're just taking fantasy points into it, because obviously a lot of people can associate fantasy with production, right? Because you have a lot of fantasy players.
Yeah. I lived in reality there. You jumped to the fantasy side. I like it.
Let's get two perspectives here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of the top 15 fantasy point scorers in the running back position. 2 were top 10 preseason ranked. Nick Chubb was preseason ranked 18th. He's number 1. Then you got Saquon, who obviously was preseason ranked very, very high. Jamal Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Austin Eckler was outside of the top 10. He was 12th. Derrick Henry was 21st. Miles Sanders, 54th. Josh Jacobs, 49th. Cordell Patterson, 63. Aaron Jones was 17th. James Robinson from Jacksonville, 45th. Khalil Herbert, Chicago, 67th. Dameon Pierce, 75th. Damian Harris, 109th. These are guys that are outscoring. I mean, there's only 2 guys pre-ranked top 10 that are any good. That are in this list with all of these guys that aren't even in the top 10, not even close in some cases. But that just tells you how far the running back position has fallen off, and it's just
it's been this way for way too long for GMs to not figure it out yet. It's been close to a decade that I feel like it's fallen off. Rec is Eckler got a ton of hype this year, and I have no clue why. Eckler is leading running backs in receiving yards this year, and finally got off the schneid with a ton of touchdowns against Houston. But before that, he was trash, and he's up there because he's gonna get a lot of dump offs from Herbert. That's why he's there. But does that make him elite? Can another running back not be there to just get dump offs and run a little bit? I don't think Eckler. When you look at Eckler run the ball, I don't see a dynamic back that we've just never seen, generational back that's so good. He's mid. It's about opportunity. It's he gets a lot of opportunities, especially in the passing game.
Yeah.
It's kind of what McCaffrey does. I think McCaffrey's better than Eckler, quite frankly. McCaffrey would be better if he could actually get in the end zone, but it's hard to get in the end zone when your quarterback is garbage.
But yeah, I think I'm with you. There's a lot of ways you can get running backs through free agency, through draft, that can fill in. Javonte Williams is a great example for the Broncos. Obviously, he got hurt, so that's really unfortunate. But you can strike gold on a guy that you don't have to pay a ton of money to, and you can get a lot of production from without having to go out and spend money on guys that again, how are these teams doing in the grand scheme of things? Not spectacular. Dallas and Minnesota are the only 2 that have winning records, and then even Dallas, you can say Dallas is they're paying
not because of Zeke,
not because of the guy they're paying. So even though they are winning games, it's in spite of Zeke. Yeah, exactly. So that's where you got to be careful, and that's why if you're a franchise that goes out and pays a bunch of money, you should probably be a little worried if running back is one of your highest paid players on your roster, and you're dedicating a lot of resources towards the running back position, because you can get a lot of production from guys for half to a third of the price, and it's a throwing league anyway. It's a passing league anyway. Yeah. So why are we doing this? Love it, Scotty.
What do we got? Broncos, that doesn't add up. #math. Reckoning. The math is lying on running backs. Math isn't real. Math is real, damn it. Get me fired up. Wreck with Swift injured. My best fantasy running back has been Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was a steal. Yeah, but Clyde Edwards has been very reliant on touchdowns, which I don't think he'll continue to get that many scores. But he's been good. He's been fine. I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to get more carries as we move forward, and Jerick McKinnon. So it's still a three-headed monster in Kansas City. Cuban. Speaking of Colorado halfbacks, how is Philip Lindsay going to go do against Denver? He might get some touches tomorrow, Chris.
He might get a couple. Maybe a DFS.
I know his uncle. I know his uncle a little bit. Really nice guy, a really great guy. So I root for Philip Lindsay, but
local guy.
Local CU boy. Played at Denver. I mean, undrafted with Denver Broncos. Had some good seasons, a couple good seasons, but has not been good recently. I don't have high expectations. Denver, I think, is going to make a point to. They were embarrassed on the ground last week against the Raiders. I think they're going to make a point to make sure they don't get embarrassed on the ground again. And quite frankly, they should sell it on the run because Matt Ryan can't throw anymore.
Yep. It's going to be interesting. Tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, Broncos Colts. Join our Discord. Make sure you guys are there hanging out with us, talking about the game, what your thoughts are, because we're going to talk a lot about it on Sunday night when we're here for Sunday Night Football in the Action Lab. So make sure you guys are all here. What do we got? We got the Ravens and the Bengals Sunday Night Football. So we
should be a good one. I'm excited for that one.
We will be there in the Action Lab Sunday Night Football, so don't miss out on any of the action. When it comes to Sunday night, we'll have bingo. We'll be gifting out some subs. Hopefully, we get a.
Well, let's be nice. Yeah, let's be nice.
We're going to have a lot of fun. So, what do we have in the chat? Let's be nice about somebody. Who is it? Vols football. I'm not going to lie. I'm not fully caught up on Vols football. At the moment.
I know they're undefeated. I know they've played. Reckoning says they're going to win the national championship. I think earlier.
Let's go.
Let me look real quick. Right now, they're ranked 8th in both polls. Have wins against Pitt and Florida. Those are two marquee, and at LSU this week, and a big one followed with Alabama. So we're going to find out real quick about Tennessee. I kind of like Tennessee being good. I remember the days when they used to be very, very good under Fulmer. It's been a while. They've gone through a lot of coaches that haven't worked out. So getting Tennessee back on the map, honestly.
Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
Are they better than Kansas football? Absolutely not. That's a juggernaut. I mean, you don't just step in one season and surpass Kansas football, okay? Are we going to have back-to-back national champions with Kansas basketball and Kansas football, Chris? Maybe. Watch game day. Watch Kansas beat up on TCU this weekend. Let's go.
The Vols are hopefully back, says Joker. I think the Vols, I got high hopes for your boys.
When was the last time they were top 10, you know? I think they win at LSU this week. And then big one against Alabama. They still have to go to Georgia, though. That's a gauntlet, no doubt.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Say something nice about Kansas football. They're having the best season they've ever had.
No, it's not the best season they've ever had. They won an Orange Bowl.
The best season
almost
I've
made a national
ever
championship.
known them have.
You got to go back to like 07. With Keith Talib and Chris Harris on the roster, Chris.
That was before I even followed them. I didn't even follow them
07,
then.
You were plenty old.
I was a freshman in college.
Yeah. They beat Virginia Tech in the Orange Bowl after they almost made a national championship game, but they lost to. They were ranked like number 2 or 3 in the country at one point. That late in that season, Chris, and they lost to actually Missouri, who was also very good with Chase Daniel, ironically, at that time. But Kansas football, how can you not be excited? How can you not say something nice? Undefeated, game day coming. Big weekend this weekend. They got, ironically, this is going to be the tougher game. They got TCU this weekend before playing Oklahoma next weekend, which they might be favored against Oklahoma if they win this weekend, Chris. Because TCU just beat the shit out of Oklahoma.
It wasn't even close. Cuban he's hopeful. MPJ made it through a preseason game, wins the parade. Let's go.
MPJ is going to be so good for the Nuggies this year. I put on my hat.
I was going to say, you got your Nuggets stuff on.
Nuggets gear on tonight. I was happy. Murray looked good in the first half. The starters only played in like the first half, but the only thing I'm worried about is like Jokic said he hurt his wrist, I guess, and it felt weird. I hope he's fine.
They're gonna sit him the rest of the preseason.
I don't think he needs to play in preseason.
He doesn't need to play in preseason. He doesn't need to play in anything. Like, you want to talk about the difference between preseason and football and in basketball? There's not much like you need to do in basketball for preseason if you're like the best of the best. Now, the NBA, we're going to get into the NBA here very, very soon once get closer to the kickoff of the season. But you have a lot of players coming back from injury. You got Kawhi coming back for the Clippers. I mean, that's going to be an interesting team to see. I have my thoughts on them. We're going to dive into all of our preseason rankings and all of our predictions on the NBA, the NHL, all those things. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we will make sure that you guys have all of the fun and entertaining and knowledgeable takes that we get here when it comes to all of these sports starting up here very soon. Joker had a full preseason overseas, this Cuban. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Rack, the Nuggets gear is proof you need to eat the bomb nugget. Are you well, who are you a fan of, Rec, in the NBA? I actually don't, because you're, St. Louis and...
Why did I think he was... I thought he was Cleveland for some reason. Or is that someone else? Cleveland?
Joker, it's the Wolves' year to win the division. That's adorable, Joker.
Joker.
That's adorable.
We love you, man. We love you. I think you guys are going to be good against some teams. Memphis. That's right.
Rec, we could do a side bet in the Discord on who wins more games between the Nugs and Memphis this year.
I mean, I think
I like the Nuggets for sure.
Nuggets will finish in the top 3 of the West, guaranteed. Put me on it. You can put me on that.
Oh, Rex even afraid. He's afraid to bet against. He's not even going to support his Memphis Grizz.
I wish Pittsburgh would bring back an NBA team, says Devil Doc.
It's weird that they don't have one.
It's a great.
They're not on the horizon. It seems like Vegas and Seattle are like the next, maybe even Kansas City are in front of like Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm with you, Cuban. Go Nuggets! I can't wait for the season to start. This is the window. If everyone stays healthy, we could win the championship this year, and we will win the championship this year.
If Jokic gets hurt, we should just sit everyone and get Wembanyama or whatever his name is.
Oh man, that kid. We didn't talk about him. We'll talk about him soon. But he is insane. He is so good. This kid who's playing in the G League right now, and he is insane. It's also weird that Pittsburgh doesn't have an MLB team as his chairman.
You could argue
that.
Never mind.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show here tonight. We will be live on Sunday night to get Sunday Night Football off and running. 7:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Eastern. We can't wait to kick that off and have a great night watching an AFC North battle between the Ravens and the Bengals. So make sure you are here with us. Bring your friends, bring your family, whoever you think will be interested in talking sports and talking the game. We will have it live here for commentary and everything else. Hawks will be a top 5 team in the East. Lock it in. The Hawks, man, see, I had high expectations for the Hawks last year, and they kind of disappointed me a little bit. Hauser, I thought they would get a little bit further along in the season, but
I need to dive in a little more on especially my Eastern Conference and where I feel everyone's going to be located at. So right now I'll say maybe.
I can't wait, man. NBA is my, Scotty, NBA is my thing. I love me some NBA. It's my baby. It's my love. So I can't wait to dive into that as well. Good night, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Good night, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic week. It's all downhill from here. Guys, all we ask you to do is to go be a good person between now and Sunday. Join our Discord and talk sports with us tomorrow. And live in the moment a little bit. Go out there, put the phone down, and enjoy the fall colors. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your family. If you guys are out, put the phone down. Listen to your friends. Listen to your family. And have a good conversation with the people you love. And
go outside and just watch the leaves fall. Just stare at a tree and watch the leaves fall.
It can be very therapeutic. Fatal Gamble. Or two. Good night, Fatal Gamble, everybody. Now, we had Cuban give us a recommendation last week, and I want to rate him again. He was really good. He did some Sinatra. Yeah. He did some great vibes to close out. STG, I love fall because summer is over. Yeah, there you go.
So you live in a hot place.
Later, Joker. Later, STG. Fatal Gamble. Have a great night down under. Love crushing tins with you guys. And, guys, anything else, Scotty, before we send you guys over to Robbie Fontana?
No, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back here on Sunday. Love you guys. Hope you have a great close to your week, and we'll see you in a few days.
There you go. All right, guys. Go over to Robbie. He is fantastic. He's incredible. He did some Sinatra the other night that knocked our socks off. Great voice, great entertainer. So go give him some love, give him a follow, and we can't wait to see you here on Sunday night. Love you guys.